Pnawn da i chi, a mae yn pnawn da, pnawn prysur hefyd, y gemau i gyd yn uwch gyngor Cymru yn dechrau am hanner awr wedi 12, heddi hanner dwsin o gemau, pnawn a hanner, gem a hanner, fan hyn gobeithio ar buzz sy'n cael ei sylw ni y Bari, y Bala a'r Barc Jenner a cymeriad y hanner yn cadw cwmni fi Siôn Moredydd cyn chwilio'r graf yr ystwyth a chyfyrddin, pnawn da Siôn?
Pnawn da.
Croeso ato ni, mae'r haul yn gwenu ar hyn o bryd, mae'n gyfnewidiol wedyn ni o ran y tywydd, cyfnewidiol o ran y tîm yma hefyd am hwn ni, hanner dwsin o gemau heddi, o'r ddau yma di chwarae hanner dwsin o gemau. Digon o amser i ni asesu sut mae pethau mynd felly?
Mae dal yn gynnar yn y 6 gêm mewn i'r tymor, ond allan o'r ddoi dîm, y tîm sy'n dal y llygad yw'r Bala, am ddiffynol, maen nhw'n arbennig o dda, ond wil yieldio 4 gôl hyd yn hyn, a ti'n cymeryd y nifer o newidiadau sydd wedi bod, rheolwr wrth gwrs, Colin Caton sydd wedi bod wrth y lliw am sawl blwyddyn wrth y Bala fe yn gadael, felly o'r ddoi dîm nhw sy'n dal y llygad yn y marn i.
Wel, mae'n dangos yn glir pan welwn ni'r tabl fan hyn, yr holl newidiadau yn y Bala, newn ni drafod mwy am hynny yn y man. Drychwch le maen nhw yn ystyn gyfforddus iawn, yn drydydd, yn hapus i byd. Y Bari wedyn ni un buddigoliaeth yn unig hyd yn hyn, y gêm agoriadol oedd honna yn Llanelli. Mae'n bellu gêm gyfartal, ond byddwn nhw eisiau gweld un yn mynd yn uwch yn y tabl na. Dyma'r gemau eraill sy'n digwydd pnawn ma, digon yn digwydd. Caernarfon, yr unig dîm sydd ddim wedi colli, maen nhw'n teithio i Lansawel. Wedyn ni Met Caerdydd ddim di ennill eto. Digon o gemau cyfartal, ond taith anodd arall i Geicona, maen nhw wedi bod yn ildio'n ddiweddar hefyd. Met Llanelli yn y Seintiau Newydd, dal ddim pwyntiau o ran Llanelli. Di colli pob gêm, felly gan bod ni'n trafod fan hyn, y Bari yn erbyn y Bala, ni wedi sôn tipyn am y newidiadau yna o ran y Bala, gymaint di digwydd, ond hefyd, yr amddiffyn yn neud yn dda, maen nhw'n neud yn dda hefyd, a mae'n help bod yr amddiffyn yn gadarn, help bod yna gol geidwad cadarn tu ôl iddyn nhw hefyd.
Ydy, mae'r 4 draws y cefn, a ti'n edrych un o'ch chwaraewyr sy'n dal yn llygad yw John Owen. Fel arfer ti'n gweld fe'n rhedeg y llinell flan i'r clybiau wadd yn chwarae Aberystwyth am sawl tymor. Mae fe wedi symud nôl i'r 4 na yn y cefn, a fel ti'n gweud, mae dan nhw gol geidwad sydd on form fel maen nhw'n gweud.
Joel Torrance yw'r gol geidwad, dewch chi ni gael pip bach ar Torrance, yn cyrraedd haf diwetha, ond bendant wedi setlo arbediadau pwysig fel chi'n gweld fan hyn. Mae fe hyd yn oed i ennill arbediad y mis, Siôn, dyma hi. Owain Vaughan Williams yn dewis, felly mae fe'n deall i stwff.
O, fe'n deall i stwff. Un o'ma camerau oedd honna hefyd, ond y gêm ar fi'n pen y bont, nath e sawl arbediad o safon. A dyna beth i angen fel tîm sydd yn drydydd yn y tabl, ti'n edrych ar dy gôl geidwad, reit, sawl arbediad mae fe'n mynd i wneud sydd yn gyfartal a gôl. A mae fe'n sicr un sy'n syrenu ar y foment.
A mae'n difyr o ran y Bala. Chi'n cael y teimlo, sydd yn dod fan hyn a cael canlyniad, bydden nhw bendant yn gosod i stamp yn gynnar tymor yma.
Wel, ti'n edrych ar y Bala dros y tymore, maen nhw wedi bod yn gyson yn Ewrop, ti wastad yn meddwl, reit, tymor yma, yw Bala mae'n ni'n gallu herio tîmau fel Pen y Bont, y Seintiau Newydd ac yn y blaen.
O wedi mynd ffordd arall yn y tymor
eto. Yn hollol. A nawr, dy ti llais newydd yn ystafell newydd, Steve Fisher, mae dy ti ryc o chwaraewyr newydd wedi dod mewn, nifer o chwaraewyr profiadol wedi gadael. Pam lai? Ta fel ti'n gweud, os yn ennill heddi, wawi!
Ydy, weithiau mae'n ambell i ganlyniad sy'n jyst yn dal sylw pawb. Dyma'r caniadau'r cwpan gyda llaw ganol wythnos. Ni'n canmol nhw gymaint y Bala, gollio nhw ganol wythnos yn y cwpan. Cwpan Nathaniel MG yn y Dre Newydd ar giciau o'r smotyn. Y Bari ar y llaw arall yn ennill yn erbyn Llanelli. Felly un gêm gyngred maen nhw wedi ennill yn erbyn Llanelli, a maen nhw'n nawr drwodd i'r Owners yn y cwpan ar ôl ennill yn erbyn Llanelli. Dewch i ni glywed gan reolwr y Bari nesaf, Ifan Gwilym sydd wedi bod yn holi Steve Jenkins.
Well, Steve, still looking for your first home win of the season, but you've had a close game against Pen y Bont, you've had a draw against TNS, last season's top 2. What positives do you take from those games?
First and foremost, the performances have been good. We were really competitive in both games. Obviously, disappointing with the Pen y Bont result in the manner that we lost it. I think it was 94th minute with a goal that, we could have easily avoided, but I was really pleased with the performance. And then TNS, we could have snatched it. We had the better chances of the two teams. So I look back at that and just think, if we'd been a little bit more ruthless, we could have got the 3 points. So in terms of performances, been really, really pleased. Possibly a couple of points less than what we deserved, I think.
You spoke about details after your last game against Caernarfon. What details do you want to see executed better by your team today?
Just managing the game. I think we conceded the second goal in the 47th minute, which was disappointing, but it was the manner of the goal. We have to be better managing them situations, and sometimes, as much as we want to play football, sometimes you just got to clear your lines, which we didn't do, and then got punished for it. And then goals change games, so it changed the sort of momentum of the game. When you go in at 1-0, changes your team talk, changes the second half. And like I say, the next goal was going to be massive in that game. We hit the post, then they get the third, and it was game over.
Last time you played Bala was before the split last season, and obviously with the manner you lost out to the top six. Is our score settled today?
There's scores to be settled every season. I wouldn't put it down to in terms of that particular game. You know, it was a difficult one to deal with at the time in terms of the scenario of the top six. But it's a new season now. Bala have changed management, and Steve and Ryan have done an incredible job. You know, the amount of turnover in players they've had to have the start they have has been fantastic. So I've got to give them a lot of credit, and today's going to be really tough.
Steve Jenkins fyna, grudges every season, fi'n hoffi hynny hefyd. O ran y Bala, yr hanes, falle bod chi'n cofio, y Bari'n colli allan yr le yn yr hanner uchaf, reit ar y diwedd, ar drail y Bala, a nhw wedi cael pwynt fan hyn, ond y gêm y Bala yn cael ei gohirio, ond efo drwodd efo cigona, achos y niwl, dim bai Bala... O'n i lana, yng nghanol y niwl, y llong yn tyn droi yn y niwl, a dim bai Bala oedd hynny, ond os na bach o ddrwg deimlad ers hynny?
Mi cytuno â Steve yna, o'r ffaith bod siwc yn mynd o'n newidiad ar ran y Bala, falle bod y grudge yna'n cael ei gymeru allan o'r gêm hyn, ond un yn sicr fydd Bari se ennill y penawd, wrth gwrs, ond grudge gyda'r gyngred falle.
Ie, pwynt teg dros ben. Ni'n sôn am y newidiadau o ran y Bala. Tipyn o newidiadau wedi bod o ran y Bari hefyd. Enwau mawr fel Cain McLagan wedi gadael. George Ratcliffe wedi cyrraedd hefyd. Gŵr nath yr oedd o haf diwetha wedi bod yn dal yn sylw ni. Robbie Wilmot, chwaraewr gyda profiad helaeth. Mae'n cael ei wthio fyny tipyn mwy tymor yma. Dyma fe'n creu, mae fe'n sgorio hefyd. Felly mae'n rôl bach yn wahanol. Yn 35, dal yn cyfrannu.
Ie, a dechrau ei yrfa yn Cambridge yn 17 mlwydd oed, ond fel ti'n gweud, mae'n creu, a mae'n gallu sgorio hefyd. Wrth i fe mynd yn hen, wrth gwrs, fel chwaraewr, mae wedi cael ei symud mewn i'r rôl rhif 10 yna.
Sy'n cymryd y gic o'r nawr.
Mae'n safon yna, se.
Gwych.
Ond mae wedi symud mewn i'r rôl rhif 10 yna, felly be mae'n gallu neud yw creu, a hefyd wneud yr hediadau yna o ddwfwn, a mae honna yn glinker.
Mae'r profiad yna, mae'n rhaid bod y profiad yna mor werthfawr yn dod mewn i tîm, cael pawb at ei gilydd.
Pawb at ei gilydd, chwaraewyr ifanc, felly yr ei gallu rhoi bach o fforddiant i nhw, a jyst llais ar y maes, dyna beth i angen.
Ie, llais ar y maes o ran Bala glowni yn y man. Cyn hynny, ni'n sôn gymaint am y newidiadau. Drychwch ar hyn, pam ni'n rhestru'r chwaraewyr sydd wedi gadael, y gemau, y goliau. Mae hwnna'n restr rhyfeddol pan ti'n gweld y siôn. 14 di gadael, ond mae 16 di gyrraedd.
Mae hwnna'n bonkers yna. Ti'n dechrau gyda Eiron ar y top yna, dros 400 o'n negosiadau yn yr uwch gyngred. Ti'n meddwl, ar dechrau'r tymor, mae Bala yn mynd i stryglan fan hyn. Os dim ffordd efo'r cymaint o newidiadau, mae nhw byth yn mynd i fod yn y 6 ucha yn y marni. Ond y ffaith amdani, mae Steve Fisher wedi gwneud swydd arbennig o hyd yn hyn.
Hyd yn hyn. Wel, gan bod Sean yn sôn am Steve Fisher, dewn ni glywed ganddo fe. Felly, Ifan Gwilym sydd wedi bod yn holi eto.
Stephen, it's been a summer of change at Bala, but after 6 games, you're sitting third. How do you assess the start of the season?
It's been a great start. I think I've said that on every interview I've had so far. It's a great start, but a long way to go, isn't it? So I don't want to get carried away with ourselves. Someone would have said in the summer, with the situation we've been in, after 6 games, you'd be joint second, third, and you would have snapped their hand off. But, you know, it's only a good start, isn't it? Nothing more than that.
What's been particularly good, I suppose, is the defensive record, joint best in the league. What's been key to that?
Do you know what? We've done some really good recruitment over the summer. Some experienced guys who've played at good levels. And I think on top of that, the fact that they're real good people who, you know, fit into the team ethic that we're trying to create and the culture that we're trying to create. And, it goes a long way when it comes to fighting for each other on the pitch and trying to keep clean sheets.
What kind of challenge are you expecting from Barry today?
Every game is a tough game. I can't remember many times when we've come down to Barry and won. So You know, they're a very organised, well-drilled team. Big, strong, powerful. They move the ball well. We've done our homework on them. You know, expecting a real tough game.
And good luck for the game.
Thank you very much.
Steve Fisher, felly. Diddorol am y newidiadau, gymaint o newidiadau chwaraewyr rheolwr di gadael. Ond mae fe'n gyson am ni'n cyrraedd yn 2019, felly mae fe'n nabod y clwb felly?
Ydy, a mae hwnna gallu fod yn bwysig rhywbeth, ffaith bod ti'n gallu navigate dy ffordd i o amgylch y clwb. Felly mae hwnna yn bwysig, ydy. A rhywbeth beth ti'n yn y cysgodion fel is-reolwr neu hyfforddwr, be bynnag oedd e, ti eisiau rhoi dy stamp dy hunan ar y tîm, a dyna'n sicr mae wedi gwneud y tymor hyn. A
beth sy'n braf hefyd, ni wedi bod yn sôn am hyn, pawb yn chwarae am hanner awr wedi 12, felly gewch chi'r gêm fan hyn a gewch chi'r goliau yn hedfan mewn hefyd ar draws Cymru. Llansawel, Bai Colwyn, Cei Conna, Pen-y-bont, y Seintiau Newydd, dyna'r gemau cartre. A mae'r tîmau yn camu i'r cae. Yn braf cael lliwiau mor llachar hefyd. Y melyn ar glas cyfarwydd o ran y Bari, y Bala yn y coch i gyd. Mae Siôn Meredith yn mynd i ymuno gyda Ifan Gwilym am sylwebeth i chi. Cofiwch bod ni ar iPlayer tymor yma hefyd yn Saesneg. English language commentary always available with Scorir on iPlayer this season. Special guest joining Mark Jones. Gavin Chesterfield is with us today. Former Bari manager, Cardiff City Academy manager. Hyfryd cael cwmni Gavin gan i sgwrs dy fe hanner amser. Ond fel o'n i'n gweud, hanner awr wedi hanner, gêm a hanner gobeithio. Draw ni at ein tîm y sylwebu.
Good afternoon and welcome to Jenner Park in the Vale of Glamorgan for Scorio's live Saturday JD Cymru Premier game between Barry Town and Bala Town. Steve Jenkins' Barry have had a mixed start to their campaign and currently lie 9th in the table, while Steve Fisher's Bala have so far been the surprise package after 6 games. They're undefeated and lie in 3rd. Alongside me this afternoon is an ex-Barry Town manager, Gavin Chesterfield, the current head of Cardiff City's Academy, who are very much enjoying their football at present. Well done, Gavin, and great to have you with us this afternoon.
Thanks so much, Mark. Really excited for the game today on a beautiful day in Barbados.
Well, if there's 150 supporters here so far, Gav, I think you've spoke to 149 of them, OK? that shows your popularity at your old club. But what's your thoughts, Gav? How big is this game for? Should we start with Barry?
Yeah, look, Jenks has been around the game a long time. He knows, obviously, that performance has been good, but maybe results haven't followed at the moment. But I think the key thing now is that if they can get a result to follow up on their performances, then he'll be happy and they'll be up and running again.
And there's their team in front. After a 1-0 midweek win, it looks like the young forward, Ian Owen, keeps his come off the bench to get the win that he's earned his spot.
Yeah, he certainly carries a threat, runs in behind very well, and I think he's got himself in a lot of good positions this season, and he probably feels if he should be in better sort of position with the goal tally. But yeah, definitely carries a threat, and up top, they do carry that threat, so I'm excited for the game today.
Bala, like we said, have made there's the Barry lineup. I've watched them plenty of times this season. Yeah, they will go 5-3-2 usually, and Bala, we believe, will be going with a 4-3-3, maybe leaving 99 Mahaseb by himself, but they've scored goals and they're keeping clean sheets. Gavin,
they've had a great start, to be fair to them, and they inherited obviously a difficult situation. Colin, who's a club legend, obviously moving on in those circumstances, but instead they had a safe pair of hands who knew the club inside out and the league inside out, and to his credit, they've started really well.
Well, I would like to congratulate the weathermen off the television. I've brought 3 coats. I've absolutely packed the car. Took me 10 minutes to get them in, and it's wonderful sunshine, Cav. Let's hope it stays that way. You're sat here with a Barry Bados t-shirt on.
You can never pick it, can you? But to your credit, mate, as a good pro, absolutely prepared for every eventuality.
John Andrew Jones in the middle. Barry versus Bala, JD Cymru Premier League. Every game this afternoon will have a 12:30 kickoff, so we'll be informing you as the scores as they go along, which should make it a more exciting 90 minutes. Bala go long with the first kick of the season, kick of the game. Interesting one, Gav. They've been playing out for most of the season, and George goes long there against Bala. Maybe that's a bit of homework where they've spotted somewhere to target?
Quite possibly, you know, Jenks would have done his homework, and I think maybe just trying to get some territory in the game early on. Just noticing there, Mark, it's interesting that they've pushed Callum into midfield today, Callum Sankey. He's been doing a sterling job at the back for them, so whether that's a tactical change or whether that's, something that's enforced.
Could have something to do with the distance this goalkeeper kicks a ball. Let's just gauge this, Gav. Not the greatest, but he's I would say, apart maybe from the Cardiff Met goalkeeper, he kicks it as long as anybody else in the league.
Yeah, it seems as if that's becoming a little bit more of a trend at the moment now, particularly from dead ball situations with clubs, really eager to sort of press and go man for man in their press. So it'll be interesting to see if that continues.
See, talking around the Barry fans, Gav, they've been happy with the way they've been playing, but obviously it doesn't last forever. The game's about gaining points.
Absolutely, and I think that, just seeing the games that I have and speaking to Jenks, etc., the performances have definitely been better than the actual results, and just sooner or later, hopefully that one will click for them. Bala, on the other hand, have had a fantastic start to the season, and that's what makes for such an interesting game today.
Is the old saying about scruffy 1-0s and the likes, Gav, are they still true?
Absolutely, mate. They're as valid as anything, aren't they? Those 3 points are so important. And, to give Barry credit, they had a really good sort of clean sheet here against TNS, and a good performance, good result. And they're hoping to capitalise that now after a good win in midweek against Britain Ferry.
Strong challenge there by Ross White. Bala can play it up to Mihaseb. Mihaseb looks to go wide. Liam Higgins out on the right wing. I think Higgins is one of your you've worked with him, Gav. I think he was didn't he play for Wales and you were involved?
Yeah, back in the days when we were supporting Ocean Roberts with the national team at the 16s level. Liam was at Everton at the time, a fast and exciting winger, and it's great to see him still playing a good level of football, and you never know, he could be one that comes again.
Well, he's definitely playing in a league which is starting to produce professionals again, which is great to see. First foul of the afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's important. It's a good league for young players to come through and get exposure, and you've seen a few move into the league now, and long may that continue.
Margerson goes back.
Interesting here, just looking at the sort of tactics that Bala are employing. It seems as if they're not really willing to sort of press as eagerly from the front at the moment. Generally quite happy for the back, the centre backs for Barry to have it, but yeah, they have gone engaged line around that halfway line, it looks.
I think they got two holders in there, Gav. I don't think they will liable to be attacking at all. Nathan Burke in there. Definitely, Burke's always been a strong centre midfielder as well. And I think they just locked the two up. Him and Dominic McGivern lock up in front of their back four there, so they're almost defend with a 6. Would you go with that?
Yeah, there's a lot of experience in that central area, and just in the early exchanges here, you can notice in dropping off the front for Barry and trying to create that little overload centrally. So yeah, interesting. Even though it's still early on in the game, you can start to see how the game is starting to shape up.
Margerson trying to put it in behind for and up against John Owen, by the way. It's Owen against Owen. And that's John Owen has played centre forward, as you would have known, all his life, and he's been a great centre forward. He played down here, by the way. It was about 10 years ago for Wales C against England as a centre forward.
That's right, I was at the game. You were obviously in the dugout that day. Another great occasion for Wales C. And yeah, just remember John Owen being that sort of fast and pacey striker that done ever so well for Aberystwyth for many years, and Druids before that. But to see him at centre half, I can only imagine that he adds a little bit of pace to the back line, which allows them to keep a higher line in the game.
In your ratio and your time involved in the game, Gav, what would you say? One in every 100, 200 go from centre forward to centre halves in the latter stages of their career?
Yeah, you put me on the spot there, mate. But the truth is, you can't think of many offhand, can you? But speaking to the guys before the game, he's been doing ever so well, and he's taken to it like a duck to water.
Yeah, and he can play. He can play, if you know what I mean. He can play as a footballer. So if he's got to pass his way out and not lump it, he has that ability.
Certainly sees that way at the moment.
The other games this afternoon: Colwyn Bay, Haverfordwest, Britain Ferry, Carnarvon, Connors Quay, Cardiff Met, Penabont, Flint Town, and TNS Llanelli. A tough trip for Llanelli up to GNS this afternoon.
Absolutely, one of the toughest trips in the league. But do you know what? Looking at those games, every game's competitive now, Mark, isn't it?
Very competitive. Edge of the box here, McGivern. McGivern gets it wide. Higgins to the overlapping Harry Dean. They haven't exactly flew out of the blocks yet.
Both teams just seem to sort of feel each other out at the moment, you know.
Britain Ferry get a 1-0 lead against top of the league Caernarfon Town, and the man showing great form so far this season, Corey Herford, has got a goal again. He is absolutely flying at the moment, Herford. One to watch there, I would say.
Absolutely, you know, just seeing just following the league, you know, just someone who cares about the league. But it's great to see young players coming on, and you know, Britain Ferry have got a lot of young players there that will kick on again. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think he was formerly of Swansea, Mark, is that right? Yeah, so he's coming on again now, and that's great to see as well.
But I think Dyer has done in the last 18 months, Gav, what you and, well, your coach Murphy has done brilliantly at Cardiff. He's taking a gamble, he's playing the youngsters and it's paying off, and there's nothing better for fans. Oh, Mickey George whips it across. It's blocked out really well by a hold in Nathan Burke.
No, you're right there, Mark. I think, you know, whenever you see young players coming into the team, and it's often the hardest thing to do, you know, it's just great to see the enthusiasm that they bring, the no fear. And speaking to Andy, when they first come into the league, I think that was a key part of their club plan, so good for them.
A massive height advantage. John Owen is picking up Callum Sainty, who should most probably be the main threat at 6'4". In he comes. Has to score! Wonderful header, Will Bell. We thought the main threat might come from Barry aerially, and Will Bell opens his account this afternoon. Great header, it gives Barry Town a 1-0 lead against Bala. Barry 1, Bala 0.
Yeah, great delivery there and great movement in the box there to free him up, you know. And to be fair to Will Richards there, he's had a really good connection on that, and he's flown into the top corner. Great start to the game.
Yes, the big man Will Richards. It's a very good header. He still had a lot to do, Gav. He had to guide it in. You watch a replay, he may be unmarked, but he still heads it in powerfully.
Yeah, fantastic connection there, and I think that the quality of the ball as well certainly helped. It's great to see when a set piece sort of comes off like that from any coach's perspective. But do you know what? Looking at that corner, you highlighted something. It's probably the biggest Barry side I've seen for a few years, this.
They take the lead. They've been finding goals hard to come by, and a lot of people have said aerially we should be getting more. Well, there's one this afternoon. Another corner given away by John Owen. That could be the difference between being a defender all your life and being a forward, trying to play, keep it in play.
Yeah, I think that's a sort of key part of his feature of his game over many years, so difficult to eradicate. But just something there, Ollie Hulbert, you know, by his own standards and the goals he scored in previous years, probably would have wanted a better start. But do you know what? He chases down every lost cause for this team, and they're the types of players that players really appreciate, you know.
Wilmot. The target will not be a lot different. It's in again. Sainty, almost 2-0. What a second save from the goalkeeper. How has he kept that out? Torrance has just most probably made one of the saves of the season. The first one's kept out. The replay, I'll let you talk through, Gav.
Excellent movement by Barry in the box there. If you can see, they get the block on here, which frees up Callum to get that header or that opportunity on goal. Great save, and a second reaction is just incredible. That's a save that belongs in any level of football.
Ollie Hulbert will be disappointed that hasn't ripped the back of the net, by the way. If that goes in, what a start that would have been. As you said, Hulbert is a key forward for Barry. He's almost being mentioned maybe in Football League circles. But when you get chances like that, even though it's a good save, it's got to go in, Gav.
Yeah, he's had a great connection on it, and to be fair, I don't know how much more you can do about it. Maybe he can go a little bit higher, but he's been in those situations far more than me, Mark, I'll be honest. But what a save for the keeper. I think we've got to give him credit.
Yeah, absolutely. Save. What a fantastic save from Torrance. But Barry upsetting the form at the moment and looking really on form. Mickey George has made the right flank his own at Barry over the last season or two. Hulbert. George will deliver. Barry looking good on the break, Gav.
Yeah, they are, and again, just seeing sort of and dropping into midfield there to connect play, and he's quick to join into attack as well. It seems as if that's a key sort of ploy for Barry today, knowing that Ollie Hulbert will run in behind off the top.
Sainty. Wilmot usually conducts affairs from that midfield role. Hassib will get the free kick. Not the greatest of crowds so far this afternoon. The league still trialling 12:30 kickoffs.
We've got to give the league credit for trying things to improve, because for me the quality of the product on the field certainly deserves backing in the stands. The difficulty for me is, are the kids finish their football in the morning to be able to come and watch the boys in the afternoon?
Yeah. Absolutely. If you're a parent and you've got, I bet there's a lot of these players out there this afternoon who've got younger brothers playing at under 11 or under 12, 13 level, and their mums and dads might still be at the games with them, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Mark. But again, credit for trying to do something and trying to always improve the game. I think that they deserve a lot of credit for that in itself.
TNS go 1-0 ahead against Llanelli, who could have a tough afternoon up at Park Hall today.
Yeah, I think the key thing for Llanelli is their season isn't going to be defined by going to Park Hall, is it? We all know how difficult a place it is to go, particularly now as if they seem as if they're getting a bit of momentum again, TNS.
I watched Llanelli Wednesday night in the League Cup down here against Barry, and they performed really well. George, who wasn't the greatest header out. Mickey George, Wilmot trying to play George in. George does well to keep it in play. Tucked away by Nathan Burke, held up by the big man, Mahesab. Just not linking their play very well. They just haven't started as well as they obviously have played in the first 6 games yet, Bala. One of your products, Mickey George?
I'd love to claim him, but yeah, he came through at Cambrai and then he came to us being a local lad. Honestly, an infectious character who's just gone on to be a real sort of threat in this league now, and it's great to see him sort of flourishing and doing well.
I watch a few games down here. He's definitely one of the fans' favourites. It's great when a local lad comes and starts owning a shirt and getting a good fan base behind him.
It's brilliant to see, and obviously someone who still lives in the area, as myself. It's great to see, local lads, for example, just coming through and getting a couple hundred games under their belt, and the club means so much to him as well,
Kavanagh. It looks like Kavanagh just might be holding our midfield role alongside Sainty, and Wilmot is almost being released as the 10 gap.
Yeah, he seems to be playing a little bit higher this year, Robbie, to be fair. Real creative player, fantastic sort of football league career, brought a lot to this Barry team over the last couple of years, and yeah, I think you're right there, Mark. Callum just seems to be sitting a lot more, and Cav's a player I know really, really well. Again, full of energy, full of quality. It just seems as if he'll be that 8 in that central area.
Wilmot picking his pass again. John Owen. Margerson. Back to the goal scorer, Richards. I was lucky enough to be speaking to the manager, Fisher, of Bala at the start, and he said they've played a lot this season with 2 systems, so be interesting to see. They've definitely started off playing deep and letting Barry have the ball, so we'll have to keep our eye on that change, Gav.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great to catch up with him before the game. Someone who knows Bala through and through, and the league through and through, and just seemed really excited by the challenge of being a manager himself, Mark.
I told him to enjoy that black hair as long as it lasts.
Not for much longer, mate.
That's a foul. Definitely a foul.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a key battle there, because Liam really does have pace, and looking to drag the centre-halves into the wide areas. If he can face them up, that is going to be a problem that Barry will have to solve at some point.
Yeah, because it looks like they're allowing Ellis Williams to get as far forward as the right wing back Michael George. So yeah, you are right there, Gav. And if you're a winger, pacey, young, winger, he's nothing better than getting at a 6'4" or 6'5" centre half, is it?
No, absolutely. Look, they'll have their strengths, and obviously Liam will have his as well. And look, again, just one of the many sort of fascinating sort of matchups in today's game.
Ooh, and that wasn't a bad effort, you know. That's only just gone wide. I think he's caught everybody by surprise there. We'll have the replay again, Gav. Luckily enough, Ratcliffe had it covered, but smart effort. Most Barry defenders thought it was going out to play, I think.
He's done very well to get onto that, particularly with that quality of connection. I think George had it covered from the start, but again, it just shows this sort of intensity and pace that Liam can call on when needed.
Penabont take a 1-0 lead against Flint, and it's Clayton Green with the goal. Penabont most probably playing one of the form teams. I think Flint have scored 9 goals in their last 2 games, so that'll be an interesting game. And like you said earlier on, Gav, I don't think there's many people earning fortunes on the odds on the Cymru Premier this year, because it is very difficult.
Very competitive, Mark. And again, you know, Lee Fowler's done a great job at Flint so far, you know, pushing a few boys into the league, playing some younger players, but, you know, again, just maintaining the level of competition. And, you know, Griff's been a stable sort of feature at Penabont for many years now, and again, they're a really sort of prominent feature within this league.
The goals are flying in, Gav. Connors Key are 1-0 ahead. Jack Kenny gets a goal against Cardiff Met, who are finding it a little bit difficult so far this season, keeping clean sheets. They're scoring goals, but they're not keeping clean sheets, and that's an early start for Connors Key. Jack Kenny, 1-0 Connors Key against Cardiff Met. Margerson. Getting your footballing head on, Gav. You're Will Richards. You're playing centre half for Barry. You rattle in a header in the first 5 minutes to give your team a 1-0 lead. How good does it make you feel?
Oh, fantastic. And look, I don't know Will personally, but, you know, knowing people around the club, he's such a good character. He loves the sort of physical side of the game, the defensive side of the game. So, yeah, that goal to come from it, you probably put him on cloud 9 to start off.
Definitely. Owen, again, passing out from the back. White. Ross White tries to switch play to Higgins. It goes out of play. TNS take a 2-0 lead at Llanelli, and I'm looking at the minutes on the clock right in front of us. If it's up on your screen, 17 minutes. Could be a long afternoon for the Reds.
Yeah, difficult place to go, obviously, we know that. And
we've all been there, Gav.
Yeah, it's not easy at all, and we know that from the start. But, you know, from Lee John's perspective, he'd be thinking about, right, you know, what can we get from these games, and ultimately there's bigger tests to come.
It's obviously a set plan, Fisher's set plan, because I don't think I've seen a team drop off as much as, I mean, they are coming to the halfway line, the back three, and DeLoe and Callum Sainty or Kavanagh to gain the ball off them. So it really is a deep block.
Yeah, it is, to be fair. It's a mid-block into a deep block. Definitely, you're right there, Mark. But what's interesting for me is the fluidity of the Barry midfield at the moment. You know, you've got the Sainty Kavanagh sort of Wilmot rotation, but at times when the ball goes wide, you've got Mikey George that's dropping in there. Plus, then you've also got Ian Owen that's willing to drop in there. So, you know, Barry's ploy about creating overload centrally is quite evident from the start here. But they've always got that out ball in someone like a Hulbert that's willing to chase down anything in that channel as well.
Oh, definitely. They have got 2 flyers up top, Hulbert and Owen. There was a massive change around at Bala in the summer, which is most probably surprised people watching the league how well they've done so far. Summer, 16 players in, 14 out. That is some turnaround, Gavin.
Oh, that's a very busy window, that, mate. And you know, just speaking to the guys before the game, it seemed they embraced the challenge. But sometimes that can invigorate you as well and pull you together as a squad, Mark, you know.
The league top scorers at present are Jordan Williams at TNS. I think he's got another one this afternoon. Elliot Reeves at Flint with 6 apiece. Adam Davis with 5 from Carnarvon. Tom Walters, who's having a good season as well, down at Britain Ferry with 5. Early days yet. Nathan Shepherd. TNS has 4 clean sheets. Joel Torrance at Bala has 3. He won't be adding to that today. George. That's that deep. There's that low block now, Gav. That's as deep as any team in the league.
Yeah.
And they're into their almost last third with 11 behind the ball there.
What's really interesting here is see exactly what happened there when Ian Owen is dropping into midfield. Now the centre half is willing to go with him, and off the back of it, it's exposing Bala to that run from the midfielder in behind. It'll be interesting to see if they pay for that later on.
Kavanagh. It's been such a good signing for Barry. And again, another local lad. Kavanagh.
He's a great character. We had him at Cardiff for a good few years. A really good character. He suffered with his injuries, but I'm just delighted to see him sort of, playing well now and getting a regular run of games. He's a player that I think can definitely kick on again.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. White. Haseb wins the header. Lewis Hall wins the header, but it goes out to play. 21 minutes on the clock. There's Wrexham against Barry tomorrow at 5 o'clock in the Adran Premier League. Ratcliffe. When you are in Jenkins' position, though, Gav, like you said, the talk has been they have played really well this season and haven't had a lot to show for it. How important is this second goal when you're in that sort of scenario?
Yeah, it's huge. Look, whilst Bala, to their credit, are organised in what they're trying to employ within the game. Barry are the dominant team at the moment, but we've already shown that given what Bala have done this season and the goal threat they've got up top, they carry a threat at all times. So Jenks will be wanting that second goal as early as he possibly can.
Ratcliffe. Not the greatest pass out from George. Really fancies himself as an outfield player as well. He'd be disappointed with that.
Yeah, he played outfield in his career.
Yes.
Very late,
yeah.
14 or 15 from what I understand, and normally very reliable with the ball at his feet.
Well, he's told me a few times how good he is outfield, so I hope he watches the replay. White, good work from Owen. You mentioned already about the likes of Hulbert chasing down lost causes. I mean, when you're, especially when you've got an experienced midfield now of St. D and Wilmot in there, when you've got two flyers up the top who are harrying fullbacks and harrying midfielders, it comes in handy, Gav, don't it?
Oh, of course it does, mate. And they're the type of players that players really like playing with, because they give it all for the team, and they know they're just waiting for that one opportunity where they can maybe get their name on the score sheet, for example, or get an assist. But they chase down lost causes all day, Mark.
It's a great ball across. It's a decent header away by Keston Davis. Mickey George spins round. Again, Davis is aerially there, strong at the back. Hulbert. It's great work in midfield then from McGivern. Nathan Burke. First spell of play where they've got their foot on the ball really for Bala after 23 minutes. Bell. Get it across to Owen. John Owen. Nathan Burke. Burke is the type of player who'll just hover around the centre circle all day and try and win his battle. He's been good at that over the years.
Yeah, he's been a fantastic player in this league, to give him credit, and been a sort of stalwart at Bala for many years now. Knows the league inside out. And it looks like, the young lads you've got around him, they really feed off that as well.
They just start to get... Oh, it's a great cutout by Kavanagh. Superb. Owen takes the shot on. Bit adventurous, but why not? Why not? If he smashes it in the top corner, everybody's singing and dancing.
Absolutely. It's just nice to see the belief, though, in the first place, isn't it? And the intensity, or the intent, sorry, to go and try something.
Joel Torrance. Gav, almost on the break of play, just mentioning your time at Cardiff so far, and it's great to see that you bring in the youngsters through, which I'm sure is a combined effort from everybody involved in the staff there. They got a big game this afternoon. Could you just give us your thoughts on that one on their way to Stockport County?
Yeah, look, it's a great place to be, and the staff over many years deserve a lot of credit, and this sort of the work that goes on starts when they're 7, 8, 9 years of age, so fantastic really, and blessed. It's an exciting and vibrant place to be at the moment, and Brian's come in the first team and added lots of enthusiasm and quality, and today Stockport away will be one of the toughest tests, but one we're relishing.
Ratcliffe, I think he does fancy himself as a footballer. His centre half is a yard away from him, and there's no way George is giving that to him.
Yeah, he's got that ability to distribute over short and long, and obviously we've seen the long aspect there, which nearly came off.
One of the best I ever seen at that, Gav, was in this league, obviously, and he played in other leagues, was Tony Pennock, the Harvard West County manager. He played for me for a couple of years. I had the number of times I had to tell him, "You're a goalkeeper, son. You're not a centre half." Yeah, I think he wanted to come up for corners at times.
No, he could really hit the ball, couldn't he? And whilst we're talking about pens, but what a great job he's done off at West Ham.
Oh, Mickey George most probably takes the wrong option. There's 3 people in the box end, the 2 forwards and Kavanagh. George tried to take the fullback on. Adventurous, to say the least.
I think you're right to highlight that, Mark. I think Cavs is really trying to break that box, and add some goals to his game as well, and just shows the intent, if you like, of Barry to go and try and get that second.
The Wales game in the week, Gav, I was lucky enough to go to the game down at Swansea. It was, a lot of people have come back with being negative about it. It was a tremendous game. Canada were fast and really, aggressive on the ball, and Wales did well. They had a number of chances, and I just think it's all being positive. If you're taking on a side, look at the friendlies they got at the moment. Canada, England, a lot of people wouldn't take them friendlies on.
No, I was there myself as well, Mark, and I agree. I was very impressed with Canada. I thought we were very good as well at times, and just maybe compared to where we've been, maybe a little bit off the levels. But I just think Craig deserves so much credit in looking at his press conferences. He's willing to embrace that challenge. He wants to grow. He wants to get better, and also willing to expose some of the younger players as well to look after the future of our country. So for me, I think the positives of the day far outweighed anything else.
It's not a bad ball at all. Chance ball, yeah. I was really impressed by the youngsters in the first half, especially young Charlie Crew. I think he's playing at Doncaster now. He was excellent first half. There's Higgins again, the wing back did his work there though. Fantastic work from the left wing back there. Ellis Williams tracked his man. Talking about Bala Town, it's prominent to talk about ex-players as well. Edge of the box at the moment, though. It's a good intervention. Kavanagh. David Artell was an ex-Bala player. I'm sure a lot of people watching this afternoon may not have that knowledge, but Artell played a couple of seasons for Bala, and he was the manager of Grimsby a few weeks ago when they defeated Manchester United. Must have been a great night for Dave.
Oh, absolutely. Do you know what? I think he spent quite a bit of time at Crewe as well, particularly developing some of the younger lads. Didn't he speak well at the end of the game? Do you know what I mean?
Tremendous.
And, I thought the passion that, he showed in his interview, I think that the players definitely felt sort of fed off that. But also...
Holbert gets a shot off again, another good shot. Sorry for coming in there, Gav. Torrance makes a decent save again.
I was saying, how tactically aware that the Grimsby players were, and they've also had a really good start the season in League Two, so... Great to see another sort of product from the Welsh Prem doing well.
Yep, we got to keep mentioning them sort of things. Ollie Holberts took the early shot on like it's a decent save. He gets down well, the goalkeeper. It's not the worst of shots from Holbert. Itching to get more goals this season. Top scorer for Barry. It's a strange one. 6.5 games. Top scorer is the centre midfielder, Robbie Wilmot, with 2 goals.
Yeah, he's played a little bit higher this year, just to try and sort of get closer to the action, because he can unlock a pass. But yeah, he's added a few goals as well, and this Barry team needs it. But once Ollie starts to fire, I'm sure they'll get back on the goal sheet together.
Whether it's working or not today, they're 1-0 behind. But wow, you could tell, Gav, they are in such a formation, Bala, that they're 4-2-3-1. Every time Barry get the ball, they drop into it, don't they?
Yeah, you can see that. All I will say is that the distances between units now are a little bit bigger than what they were at the start of the game. Now, whether that's sort of tiredness or whether that's just sort of feeling the game out, you know, I doubt very much about this early stages. But yeah, it's just really interesting to see how they're employing that.
Richards changes the tactic. He knocks his 70 yards and it gets his team a throw in, which I'm sure will be welcomed by Barry's long throw expert, Mickey George. Talk about two ways of playing. And just to upset the commentator, he throws it short. Richards. Keston Davis, Ben Magnuson, all quality footballers on the ball for centre-half players.
Yeah, very comfortable in possession, to be fair. And, you know, your midfielders are very willing as well to show for the ball. So, yeah, it creates a really progressive style. But as you said, Mark, you know, you've got two boys up front that are willing to go in behind, which just adds a different type of threat.
Great ball. He's dropped deep there, exactly as he's mentioned earlier on. Ian Owen.
I think the key for Barry there, right, is once they found that spare man with Ian dropping off the front, is for him off his first touch then to play forward from there, as opposed to maybe playing backwards.
Start again.
Yeah, I just think that, you know, that little detail makes a massive difference to how you progress up the field.
Because Bala reset every time it goes back in. Richards working very hard up top. The number 99. I wonder if that's the highest number in this league. Is that as high as you can go in the numbers? Have you any idea on that one, Gav?
I don't think I've seen three figures, mate, so I imagine it is.
Yeah.
But you know what? Look, he's a big old boy, isn't he? And he works hard, and he's got his goals so far this season.
Yeah, he's got 12 games he's played for Bala. He's got 8 goals. He was at Rangers and Motherwell as a youngster. Yeah. Hussein Mahasib.
Yeah, in preparing for the game, Mark, you know, we've seen quite a few of the Bala lads are quite well travelled through their football experience.
Great ball. George is all the way through. Does he take it on or does he pass? He passes. That is a massive chance again. Torrance, to his credit, has made 3 wonderful saves. His team are still no one behind. But should Barry be 3-0 ahead?
For people who really appreciate progressive football, fantastic movement there from Mikey George. Really good decision to sort of cut back into Ian Owen, and, you know, by his own standards, he'd want to do better there.
Yeah, he scored in midweek against Llanelli, as I mentioned earlier on, and I'm sure Steve Jenkins would have swapped the midweek goal for that one then. But he's definitely playing well. He's dropping off and linking the play really well, Owen. Wilmot can go either foot. George keeps it in play. It's hooked clear by John Owen. Sainty on the edge of the box. Great volley, a great save again. I don't think there's going to be much of a battle on the man of the match stakes, Gav. Well, the man of the first half by a mile is Joel Torrance, the Bala number 1.
Look, the truth be told is, given the quality of chances, Barry could quite easily find themselves 3 goals to the good here, but the fact that there's still only 1 goal to the good will sort of play on their mind a little bit.
I think that's his second, well, it is definitely his second double save. The type of here's the big chance. It's gone down to his right hand side. Torrance was at Salford in another league club. I'll get the information in the second half, Gav, but the young 22-year-old, he looks a decent goalkeeper, you know.
He's done ever so well so far, hasn't he? I think he was at Altrincham previously as well, Mark, as well as Salford, and, you know, for young goalkeepers it's difficult to get that sort of regular exposure, but yeah, he's made some saves that he's had no right to make so far, so credit to him.
Yeah, he's the man in view, obviously. If the score does stay at 1-0, half-time, there's 34 minutes on the clock at the moment. He is having a wonderful game in midfield. The experienced ex-Newport County centre midfielder, Robbie Wilmot. Just linking the play well. He's in again here. It's a strong tackle. It's a big moment in the game now, Gav. We got 10 minutes to half-time. A second goal would be massive. And Bala and Steve Fisher, their manager, at half-time, I think would take 1-0 the way the game's gone.
Absolutely, Mark. We've both been there, you know, but I just think at the moment Barry are looking free-flowing and sort of full of sort of confidence, which is great to see. But as I said earlier, They do need to go and get that second goal. And their play deserves it, to be fair.
Definitely a handball there by Ollie Holbert. Torrance taking the goal kick in bright sunshine at Jenner Park. Great header from the fullback Mickey George. Holbert tucked in. Richards with the first header. Callum Sainty. Tarasenko gives the free kick away against Sainty. Have to get off the ball, it could be a yellow. Referee's a little bit lenient there, you know. 9 times out of 10 when you stop the free kick getting taken. Just a little bit lenient there, John Andrew Jones. You don't want to see anybody booked, but
yeah, I can see that there, Mark. It's clearly applied just to sort of delay the game a little bit, and Callum's done ever so well there to use his physicality and presence just to secure the ball for the team. Yeah, I think the ref's been very lenient in that situation, but you know, in a day where yellow cards are, you know, being thrown about a lot, isn't it? You know, in some ways, if it's going to be a consistent feature, then fair enough.
Margerson, Ross White, keen just to clear his lines. John Owen gets there first. Richards makes the block off the ball, and Keston Davis comes round and sweeps up. Yeah, if you're looking in front of us there, Gav, you've got Margerson, you've got Will Richards, Keston Davis, George Ratcliffe and Callum Sainty just in front of you. That's a strong 4 or 5 for this level. Owen, can he make it? Oh, he didn't take it on that time. Has the last miss affected him there? Gav, would you like to have seen him take that on?
I would like to see him take it on. He was on his left foot, for example, but you know, no one watching the boy this season, he's definitely not sort of lacking in confidence to take it on. Just think it probably wouldn't sit for him, Mark, you know. I think the point you raised earlier about that build, for example, there's a lot of experience there and boys who are comfortable in possession, but they got that 5v3 there, which means it's quite comfortable. But inadvertently, that's obviously what Bala have prepared for, and yeah, it's
we'll see what they do in the second period.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Steve finishes.
He's onside. This could go against the whole first half play. He's pulled it across. For me, there's times when right wingers come in. He's tried to pull it across. He has to take on some responsibility and have a go, Gav. What is he? When he makes the pass, he's 12 yards out at quite a good angle.
Done ever so well, and that's the game in a nutshell there. Barry have been quite dominant, probably should have scored maybe another couple of goals, but Bala do retain that sort of threat, particularly in that sort of situation, and Liam, and knowing his game, he probably would have expected to do a lot better there.
Just like to see him. Yeah, it's youth, and I think when he gets a bit more experience, he'll take things like that on. Definitely a chance. That would have been a body blow for Barry, by the way, to come off at 1-1 after the first half they've had. Hall, first time the chance of 1-on-1 at Mikey George, and George wins the battle. Goes back to Margerson. Margerson tries to pick Wilmot out. Ross White. Colin Caton, we'll have to give a mention to Colin Caton. The years that he, you know, created history for this football club. I think was he there 16 seasons maybe? I'm not sure changing him there, but you know, won the Welsh Cup, Europe numerous times, made Bala a piece of Welsh football history.
Credit to him. I think the journey they went on from almost Parks football into Europe is a fantastic journey, and one no doubt he'll be very proud of. But also just representing, you know, one of the smaller sort of areas of Wales, if you like. And you know, I know the pride that brings to a lot of the good people at Bala. So fantastic footballing story.
Will Bell playing the right side of the centre backs. Higgins trying to knock it forward. Bala just trying to press upfield in the last couple of minutes of the first half. 40 minutes are up now. Barry Town 1, Bala 0. Can Barry add to their lead? Mickey George screaming for it on the right-hand side, as well as Steve Jenkins, the manager below us. Switch the play was the shout.
Just feel here, Mark, the Barry backline could definitely play about 10 yards higher, really, and take it closer to that block, which means the second pass a bit shorter and a little bit more quicker. Just seems that Bala are happy for them to have the ball that deep.
Richards, the goal scorer, gets it back to Ratcliffe. Yeah, I think they've had this ball, you know, for the older generation maybe. Okay, like myself. Some people find it hard to see that Barry made, I think it was about a 12 pass build up then. Went back to their goalie and he plays it forward to their goalkeeper. Come on, Gav.
Probably an element of frustration from George there. Maybe they're not progressing with the ball, but you know, to give the league credit, but also to give Barry credit in this case, they've got a clear identity of what they're trying to do. And ideally, they want to get into the final third in control of the football. And at the moment, I think that, you know, Bala's organisation now, particularly since they conceded those 3 or 4 early chances, has improved in the last sort of 10 minutes.
Big moments in the game, got them 3 chances from Torrance, the chances that Torrance saved. One from Wilmot, one from Ian Owen. I think the other one was a Mickey George run through. Richards.
Yeah, you can see Callum Sainty there as the captain of the team is telling his centre-backs to play higher because he needs them closer to them, you know, closer to him, sorry. So interesting sort of features here about how the players are reading the situation as well.
Wilmot drops deeper than he have all afternoon. Perhaps he's trying to set the tempo. Sainty. Ross White knocks it out for a throw-in. Mickey George. He's come off his marker there. Wilmot. The switch is on if they do it a bit quicker now. Richards. Kavanagh dropping into the left wing back position. Jenkins on the touchline is working hard as any of his players, by the way. Wow. I think he's the one who'll be having the show at the end of 90. Kavanagh. Oh, Kavanagh, what a ball. Mickey George must make it 2. Mickey George does make it 2. The homebred fullback from Barry gives the Jenner Park Club a 2-0 lead right on the stroke of half-time. The George goal makes it Barry 2, Bala Town 0.
The pass there from Ryan Kavanagh is of the highest quality. Great weight, great timing, great angle. And again, Mikey finds himself in that position that he's got in so far quite a few times today, but opted to pass to others in those circumstances, found himself isolated, and he took his goal ever so well. And nothing more than sort of the Barry team, they deserve at least 2 goals to the good.
It is a spectacular pass. He picks his head up, he comes inside Kavanagh. That's what you call slide rule, Gav?
Absolutely. What a fantastic pass that. Belongs on any stage of football, that. And, you know, as I said earlier, given Barry's dominance in the game, it's more than it's what they deserve from their first half performance.
And take your hat off to the fullback. Shows composure.
Shows great composure, but also, you know, to arrive in that situation takes a lot of work, and to his credit, he's kept making those runs.
And if we're talking football justice, most probably worth a 2-0 at half-time, Gav.
Absolutely, given the quality of chances, absolutely. And, you know, that's a real high-quality moment of the game that sees Barry take a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, for the viewers watching, do not leave us at half-time. The man stood next to me, Gavin Chesterfield, will be interviewed by Dylan Ebenezer at half-time. Stay on board for the interesting conversation. Ratcliffe. You can almost sense a sigh of relief from the supporters around us, Gav. Obviously we're in the gantry just above them, but they know that was a vital goal.
Yeah, big moment. I noticed the celebration of some of the other players, you know, and you could see the relief from them as well, because when you're creating as many chances and maybe not taking them, it is something that does play on your mind.
Which is interesting, Gav, is that Kavanagh, I'm thinking about it now, he dropped off in that left-hand side. We mentioned it about 10 minutes ago that he dropped off into that left-hand side of midfield. I mean, if he's thought that up, genuinely, that's a great move, because the ball is one of the balls of the season again.
Absolutely, he's been consistent. Cavs have been well coached from a young age, you know, and he's got a good school in the game, but he's noticed that the area in the centre of the field is cluttered, and he's tried to play outside the chaos, and he's done it ever so well.
Owen. Bala, most probably this season, for the first time, have a mountain to climb. But on their current form, they're still in the game with a long 45 minutes to go.
Absolutely, Mark, and that was evidenced by the chance that Liam Higgins had. You know, they weren't in the game at that stage, but quite easily could find themselves in a one-all position. One
thing's for certain, Gavis sets up an intriguing 45 minutes. Bala have to come out. Barry have to hold on to their lead, so to their lead. I'm sure they'll want to add to it, by the way.
Absolutely, you know, it's a strange saying in football. Obviously, 2-0 is a very dangerous scoreline, but you know, Steve will have time now to sort of put his troops right at half-time, and obviously Jenks will look to do more of the same.
The referee, John Andrew Jones, blows the final whistle at Jenner Park. Barry lead by 2-0. Don't go away. We look forward to seeing you in a second period from Jenner Park. Thank you.
A ni'n edrych bod yn sôn am y Bala cyn y gêm ar amddiffyn, wel, y Barry yn mwynhau. A ni'n mynd i weid bod y clybiau oddi cartre'n neb di sgorio. Mae Caernarfon yn amlwg wedi newid hynny yn y munudau diwetha, ond pnawn y tîmau cartre yw i ar hyn o bryd. Llansawel yn mynd ar y blaen o 2 gol i ddim yn erbyn Caernarfon, ond y Cofis wedi cael un yn ôl yn y gêm yna. Bai Colwyn yn cael tipyn o bnawn, 2 i Jordan Davies, Holford lawr i 10 dyn. Ildiodd Holford 5 yn Seintiau Newydd penwythnos diwetha, yn ildio drwm eto. Pnawn ma, Met Caerdydd yn colli eto, ond fel na mai ar hyn o bryd. Reit, digon nhw drafod fan hyn, cyn hynny, edrych yn ôl gan yr wythnos, cyfnod rhyngwladol gan gynnwys tîm dan 11 Cymru yn dechrau ymgyrch ddiweddara. Nhw'n cyrraedd Denmark, dewch chi wylio hyn?
2 flwyddyn union ers i Gymru o dan Matty Jones chwarae gêm gyntaf ar Rodney Parade. Gêm gyfeillgar oedd honno yn ebyn Liechtenstein. Y bil yn dod yn gynnar at Nego! Ac yn gol! Yn gynnar! 30 eiliad ar y cloc! A mae Cymru ar y blaen!
Wel, am ddechreuad. Dwi'n mynd jyst wedi cychwyn y gêm a cyffyrddiad gyntaf fe'n arbennig fan hyn. Nath e ffeindio unan yn y poced. Cyffyrddiad gyntaf, perffaith, ond yr ail wedyn, syth mewn i'r rhwyd.
Cymru'n digon o hyder i symud y bêl o'r cefn, Nayakua. O bas ma Popov yn cael awr ar gol. Be mae cam sefyll, Popov! Yn ail Cymru! Chris Popov! Am dyblu mantis Cymru. Bethau mynd o well. I'r tîm cartre ar ddechrau'r ymgyrch newydd.
Wel, mae Popov yn gorffen hwn mor dda, ond mae Nayakua unwaith eto wedi sereni i Gymru fan hyn. Ti'n bod nath e pigo'r bel am y lan yn hanner unan. Mae'r pwysau ar y bas yn berffeth, a wedyn Popov gyda y pwyll just i cymeryd y cyffyrddiad, edrych lan mewn i gefn y rwyd. Nawr mae Cymru mewn sefyllfa arbennig yn y gêm yma.
Tackle, roedd yn hwyr. Mae'na Real Bantes gael ei chwarae, Clem Bischoff fewn i'r cwrt ar ergyd. Jürgensen yn tynnu nôl i Denmark. Y symudiad yn torri trwy Cymru fel cyllell boeth trwy fenyn.
Disgrifio da. Sgwp o gweud bod hwnna yn ergyr o safon ucha.
Beth yn ddiddorol ma ar Rodney Parade. Mae sodiad arall fan hyn i'r canol mae'r bas gan Thomas Jürgensen yn mynd. Ond le fan hyn i Oscar Hoyle yn droi. Lled i'r chwarae. Adam Dagim. Dagim. Cam i mewn i'r cwrt. Adam Dagim! Wel, tro hyn Denmark sy'n cael dechrau da i'r hanner. Adam Dagim. O Red Bull Salzburg yn union i'r sgôr. Mae'n 2-1.
Mae'n cael cyffyrddiad da yna fe am bach gomor o le yn y cwrt Cosby fyna. Fi'n credu bydd Giles Braidd yn siomedig siwt meddi am ddiffyn un yn ebyn un fyna.
Dagim. Nayakua yw'r un sy'n dod nôl i wneud gwaith amddiffynol. Dag i mynd llwyddo gael y bas. Tuag at Anderson. Clem. Ddim yn mynd am yr ergyd. Camyn dros y bêl. Mae Bischoff yn tynnu ddyn ôl. A Denmark ar y blaen. Ond yn edrych bod am fynd mas. Ond Bischoff a Harder yn cyfuno. Harder sy'n rhwydo.
Dyma le wyt ti am yr ymysodwyr i fod. Oedd y belt ar bêl mynd i mynd allan. Croesiad yn dod mewn yn un gwych yna dde fe. Cyfle.
Bas hir mlaen, tuag at Schwartau. I giro Evan Watts. Ac i gerdded y bêl i gefn y rhwyd. Wel, i gyfraniad cyntaf fe yn y gêm ers dod mlaen. Watts, gallu gafel ar y bêl. A Denmark yn sgorio pedwaredd.
Ie, pêl uniongyrchol yn y diwedd yn y fe, ond pan ti'n wario pasio byr na yn y cefn a denu nhw allan, y perygl sy'n hyd yn dod wedyn o'r rhediadau na lan y car.
10 munud ar ôl. Bydd y gol nawr yn neud pethau ddiddorol tu hwnt. Congrib. Rhoi'r meddiant yn ôl i Denmark ar adeg. Mor bwysig i Gymru. Oedd angen cyfle fyna. Ond Denmark nawr sy'n cael ar gol. Y bas fewn at yr eilydd. Priska. A mae'n 5. Wel, agos Priska. Cyffyrddiad cyntaf o bosib. A cyffyrddiad mor cwl.
Wel, mae'n gorffen hwn mor dda, nad ie. Ti'n bod, un o'r ein adeg, ti'n gwybod falle bod golwg yn mynd i dod allan a wedyn ti just yn chipio dan y bêl a cael y drost, ond mae'n gorffen yn dda, mae rhaid gweud. Wedi gael ei cyffyrddiad gyntaf wrth i fed ymlaen y car, fi'n credu.
Bas fewn at Priska. A nawr mae Denmark yn mynd am y 6. Silas Anderson yn curo Evan Watts sy'n edrych yn shell-shocked. Agosau at 5 munud o'r gêm. A mae Denmark yn rhemp.
Noson anodd y tîm dan 11. Dwi'n cael cwmni rhywun oedd yno. Gavin Chesterfield joins me now, former Barry manager, manager of the Cardiff City Academy these days. I know you were watching that game. Tough night, great start for the youngsters, but a tough night in the end for them.
Absolutely, you know. Fantastic to see some of the boys doing so well, particularly on that stage, you know, against a tough team that is a lot more experienced. And, you know, to be fair, their players are playing a lot of first-team football around the country, and that showed, I think, in the evening. Really impressed with the quality of the first-half performance, but maybe just run out of legs a bit in the second half.
We were also counting how many could have played for the under-21s that were playing for the first team against Canada. I think there were 6 at one stage who could have played in that game. It says a lot, I guess.
It says a hell of a lot. It says a lot about Craig's mindset to develop players for the future, but also for the now and for the good of the country in the long term, but also about the production line that's evident within the Welsh football setup as well as our own.
You've got some production line at Cardiff City at the minute. I've been counting the names. Some Cardiff players made a real impact. Dylan Lola, obviously in Kazakhstan. Ronan Kapakio coming on. Joel Colwill coming on as well. There are others. Isaac Davis, Nayakua, Mafiko. Amazing at the minute. He must be delighted as a club.
Just super proud of them, if I'm being honest. You know, it's the players that deserve a lot of credit, but the club, you know, these boys have been at the club since they're 6, 7, 8 years of age, and you know, I've been lucky enough to come in the part of their finishing school, so I've got to enjoy that aspect. But the club and the staff that have been there for many years deserve huge credit, and they're just great lads as well. It means a lot to them to play for Cardiff City. It means a lot to them to play for their country, and yeah, let's enjoy them grow under our eyes.
How many more coming through as well?
I think a lot of people are asking me that, but let's enjoy these at the moment. But there's a lot of talent in the academy, and everyone's working really hard.
It's funny, nobody wants to see relegation, obviously, but dropping down to League One, does that give them an opportunity? I don't know. That's the assumption, but is it harder to introduce these youngsters at that level?
Internally, we've had lots of plans now for the last couple of years, you know, and we are ahead of the plan that we had in place. Relegation has played its part. I think some of the guys are, you know, finding themselves squad members now that might have gone for a loan, or in around the first team, for example, where they might have found themselves squad members, regardless of how it's ended up. We've ended up with a head coach and a manager that really believes in young players. He doesn't do that because of a sort of charitable aspect. respect. He does that because he believes it's the best way to win, and it's a really exciting place to be at the moment.
I've got to mention Cardiff as well. Tough game today, but it's a great start to the season. Fair play.
Yeah, great start to the season. The club feels different. It's got an energy about it. It's you can feel its pulse again, which is great. And you know, tough game today. Stockport away, really tough. And I seen a stat the other day that they haven't lost 2 games in a row throughout their manager's tenure. So yeah.
You can feel the pulse of Barry Town so far this afternoon as well. You've been mentioning Barry Beidas. The rain's kept away. What have you made of that first half? We were talking before the game was Bala, great defence and all of that, but Barry, you've stolen the show.
I think they've been really fluid. I think it's been an exciting game. I think the keeper for Bala has obviously made saves he had no right to make. They found themselves now 2 goals to the good. Quite easily could have been another 2 goals to the good. I think it's been a really good advert for Cymru Premier League football. What's going to be interesting for me now as a coach is to see what Steve does in the second half to affect the game, but also now what Jenks does to make sure that Barry continue on that upward curve.
Right, Gavin, thanks very much for joining us. Great to have you here with us on Scorio, and we'll be down in Cardiff City soon to have a chat as well, I'm sure. Thanks for your time. Gavin Chesterfield and Cadw Cwmni ni fan hyn ar Barc Jenner. A drychwch beth sydd I ddod fori. Y Barry yw'r y pwnc dan sylw wedyn ni penwythnos yma, achos y merched yn cael y sylw ni fori yn Wrexham. Honna gêm o brif adron Janeiro ac yn gynnar i dechrau penwythnos diwetha gyda sioc. Caerdydd y pencampwyr yn colli yn erbyn y Seintiau Newydd. Dewch chi weld pa hwyl bydd Wrexham yn gael yn erbyn y Barry. A just fel yna, hyd y lledrith, mae Gavin Chesterfield wedi troi mewn I Sean Moredydd. Troes yn ôl, Sean.
Diolch.
Na gyd i sôn I cyn y gêm, oedd sôn am Bala ar amddiffyn, a hyn I gyd. Barry dyn yn dda, be'n neud i'r hanner cynta?
Wel, maen nhw bod tipyn drych na'r Bala. Fi creu nhw'n siomedig, bod nhw ond 2 fyny, y cyfleo'n geilo nhw. Gol geidwad eto I Bala yn neud sawl arbediad o safon, ond mae'r Barry rhediadau oddi ar y bil. Dyna'r gwaniaeth rhwng y 2 dîm yn y marn I. Y rhediadau o ddwfwn, George yn arbennig i'r Barry lawr yr asgell yma, felly maen nhw bod tipyn drych.
Fluid oedd term Gavin Chesterfield. Mae'n disgrifio fe'n berffaith. Wel, cwestiynau o ran y Bala nawr, mae'n gwneud mor dda, angen taro nôl, chi'n cael teimlo bydden nhw'n gallu taro nôl, ond tipyn o ail hanner I ddod. Fi'n credu pyn oedd un I ddim, fydden nhw wedi fod yn falch mynd mewn i'r safell newid gyda'r sgôr na, ond gyda y ffaith bod Barry sgorio, wel, tuag at y diwedd y hanner cynta, mae hwnna'n mantais mawr iddyn nhw. Ie, lle ni weld rhaid goliau yna nawr o'r hanner cynta, digon i'w drafod. Fel o'n i'n sôn, ni'n canmol Wilmot hefyd, o'n i'n sôn am y gol geidwad, ni'n sôn am Wilmot, perffaith. Oedd hi'n groesiad o safon fel wedon ni'n ysylwebeth, a fel amddiffynwr fel cawr ag yw ti jyst yn disgwyl ei gwmpar I bennau, oce, mae reit yn y gornel, ond dyna'r safon mae Wilmot yn rhoi iddo ti. Ond mae rhaid hefyd, mae'r cwestiwn o ran amddiffyn y Bala, pwy oedd yn rhedeg gyda fe, achos maen nhw wedi mynd 1 wrth 1 am bob cic rhydd, bob cic cornel. Digon wedi mentro yma I Barc Jenner, pnawn yma, y glawn yn cadw draw am nawr, wrth gwrs. Digon da nhw I fwynhau hefyd, oedd hi'n ddwy cyn hanner amser. A'r rhediadau yma, sôn am Michael George, o'n i'n gweld yn dod o bell rhediad hyfryd. Oedd hi yn, o tîm yn safle well na fi, o'n i yn cwsiwn I falle os oedd e'n cam sefyll, oedd e'n edrych dros I ysgwyddau. Oedd hi'n agos. Dechreuodd e mor bell, a oedd y bas mor hir, fi'n credu oedd e mlaen, fi'n credu. Wel, fawr y teg, achos mae rhaid I fod yn amneddgar rhywbeth gyda dy rhediadau ti, a fel rhywun sy'n chwarae fel ôl atgellwr, ti ddim yn gyfarwydd rhywbeth I fod yn y sefyllfa yma, ond jyst yn rhoi'r llygad i'r gol geidwad a falch bod nhw 2 fyny. Mae'n hen ystrydeb, ond oedd angen yr ail gol mewn ffordd, oedd angen yr ail gol, achos chi'n mewn 1 I ddim yn meddwl dylai fod yn beder, mae'r meddylfryd siŵr o fod yn newid tipyn ar ôl honna fe mewn. Eto mae'r gol nesaf ni'n bwysig, dyw Bala ddim allan o, mae'n bell ffordd, ond fe rhaid I 1 neu 2 bell newid a I fi, mae angen I rhediadau 3 yn y blaen i'r Bala fod yn well na be o'n nhw'n hanner cynta. O'n i'n siarad cyn y gêm bod hi'n gêm bwysig i'r Bala, maen nhw wedi cael dechrau da iawn i'r tymor, am eich gyfle wedi bod yn dod yn y gêm hefyd, ond falle am y tro cynta'r spel, mae'n gwestiynau iddyn nhw, achos pan ni'n gweld y cyfleoedd yma, nes I weid allu bod yn beder, yn hawdd allu bod yn beder. Wel eto, y gol geidwad yn neud yn wirthiol fyna, ond eto, mae'r cwestiwn, pwy sy'n mynd gyda'r rhediad fyna? Mae'n amlwg bod Bala yn mynd 1 wrth 1 o bob set piece. Oedd hon yn arbediad o safon, achos mae jyst yn bwnsio I flaen e. Ond
bydde'r Bari, bydden nhw ddim wedi bod yn hapus mewn y hanner cyntaf na jyst un gol I fyny. Felly, oedd y gol yma yn bwysig a hwn yn rhediad arbennig. Owen, mae rhaid iddo sgorio fyna, yn eto y gol geidwad y safon. Ti'n gweld y rhediadau eto, oedd hi ar y bil. Maen nhw wedi gweithio'n galed, maen nhw wedi gweithio'n galetach na Bala yn y hanner cyntaf. A Wilmot gyda hon. So hon wedi mewn, bydde hon falle lan ar gyfer gol y mis.
Ni yn cael holi rheolwyr o bryd i'w gilydd. Fydden ni wrth y modd holi Steve Fisher yn yr amser, beth y gwyddoedd yr hanner cyntaf na. Achos maen nhw wedi bod mor gadarn, ac eto, dyn nhw'n edrych fel un o'r amddiffynfeydd gorau yn y gyngrair o ran yr hanner cyntaf heddi.
Na, mae rhaid I roi clod i'r Bari. Ti'n gallu gweld o lle o'n i'n sylwebu, yr hydiadau oedd I ar y bil. Dyna'r gwahaniaeth rhwng y ddoi dîm ar hyn o bryd. Hon, dim ond yw'r 2 neu 3 cyfle mae'r Bala wedi cael. Hon oedd y cyfle golau, Higgins, lawr rasg y llwyth. O'n i'n meddwl, falle dylefyr I tyranu hwnna, achos mae 2 amddiffynwyr y Bari o amgylch yr ymosodwr fyna. Felly, 2 gyfle maen nhw wedi cael a hanner cyfleuon oedd rheini.
Wel, dyna ni, fel na mai ar hyn o bryd. O'n i weld y gol ma'r eto, jyst yr ail gol. Ni'n sôn am y cam sefyll fan hyn. Mae'r rhediad, cohi, falle bod fi'n anghywir. Falle oedd y cam sefyll. Gwyn am Siôn Moredydd yn dweud y cyfan.
O'n i jyst yn meddwl, hyn o fe'n edrych dros I ysgwydd. Fi'n lwcus fan hyn, fi'n credu. O'r ongl na, oedd yn edrych os o fe'n cam sefyll.
Fi'n siŵr os bydd y Bala eisiau gweld honna eto. Dyn nhw ddim yn poeni, mae'n 2 I ddim i'r Bari. Diolch I Siôn. Siôn yn mynd nôl i'r pwynt sylwebu a'r sgoriau I chi ar yr egwyl. Cynarfon i'ch gol yn ôl yn Llansawel, mae'n teimlo'n bwysig dros ben. Problemau yn penteri I Lanelli, 2 i'r Seintiau Newydd, ond hefyd Hwlffordd. Ildio 5 yn wythnos diwetha, fel o'n i'n sôn, ildio 3 yn barod a lawr I 11, Alaric Jones a Met Caerdydd. Angen rhywbeth o'n nhw ar hyn o bryd yn colli oddi cartre. Reit. Dewch chi os yma beth yn mynd fan hyn yn yr ail hanner, y Bari ar y blaen, nôl â ni at ein tîm sylwebu.
Welcome back to Jenner Park. Bari Town currently 2-0 ahead against undefeated so far this season, Bala Town. And that could be their first shot on target, to be honest, apart from one effort in the first half from Higgins. Bari, as you spoke about at half-time, Gavin, were very, very impressive. The break is on from the big centre-forward who's played the lone role. Have to come out with it's a strong tackle. He has to take the ball. He's hurt himself, you know, as he's made that tackle, Sainty. It was a stretch tackle, Gav.
Done ever so well just to cover the ground in the 2 moments before that as well, and he's thrown himself into that, and he looks like he's hurt himself here. It's not like Callum to stay down, to be fair to him. Hopefully he's all right.
Yeah, and like you said, at the end of the first half, 2-0 has always been a fragile lead sometimes. It's great to have the 2 goals, but next goal is key. Next goal most probably decides the game, Gav, whether we have a battle on or we have a cruise on.
Yeah, I've not seen any changes so far in the game or tactically. As the game sort of settles a little bit, we'll see a little bit more. But it'll be interesting to see what Steve has in store now to try and get his boys back in this game.
Half-time scores. No real surprises. There may be the one Colwyn Bay being 3-0 ahead against Haverford West County could be a little bit of a surprise result at half-time.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Penn's done a great job at Haverford West over the last couple of years. And we know Colwyn Bay is a tough place to go, definitely. But 3-0 half-time suggests it's been quite a dominant performance.
Barry setting up again with the 3 defenders. Kavanagh again will drop in. George. Likes of George on the right hand side, and the other side, the other wing back, Ellis Williams. I'm sure they'll be looking to enjoy themselves now this afternoon. And the rain, we did have a shower at half time. He's timed it well.
Perfect for football on 3G, mate. You know, a little bit of water there, a little bit of rain that comes down, and out comes the Barry Bader sunshine once again.
There's a yellow card being brandished there. I think it's Jacob Tarasenko will pick it up.
Looking back early in the game, Mark, we were talking about the yellow card when he stopped the play there. That's why I suppose that we could find ourselves down to 10 men there, in that moment, by two very, very cheap yellow cards. But thankfully, common sense prevailed.
Kavanagh wide. Magnuson really comfortable on the ball. Magnuson, every time I see him play, he must have been a midfielder, I think, when he was a little bit younger. Owen goes behind for the goal kick. I think here's the replay for the yellow card. Just from behind, yeah, it's a regulation red, regulation yellow when you're just leaving something in from behind, Gav. I don't think there's much argument there. He didn't argue anyway, to his credit.
No, not much malice in it either, Mark. But yeah, as you said, just because of the nature of the tackle these days, that's normally a yellow card.
Harry Dean to take the throw in. Would have been interesting team talk. Two obvious team talks, I should imagine. The one from Jenkins was just keep up the good work, and the one from Fisher was, can we do a little bit more, lads? We've done it so far this season. Can we produce? John Owen switches play. It's a great ball from Owen. He goes over the head of George. Edge of the box. Ian Owen just clears his lines. It's not the worst thing in the world. TNS go 3-0 ahead against Llanelli. Jack Bodenham, one of their centre backs. What does that say to you, Gav? Set piece?
Probably suggests that, Mark. Yeah, we were even talking about it at half time. Llanelli deserved huge credit for going 2 goals down early on up there and to get it through to half time at the same scoreline. So I know that obviously they'd be really disappointed then to concede so early on in the second half.
Owen back to Torrance. Torrance. That son must be. What is it you like to call it, Gav? Barry? Do you want to mention it again? Because he's got his peak cap on his sun hat.
You've got to bring a cap when you come to Barry Bados, man. It's got its own little microclimate.
Fantastic. Torrance. Headed away by George. Just seemed to have stepped off the gas the first couple of minutes, Barry. They have to be careful of that. Would you agree?
Yeah, just trying to work that out, really. I don't know whether it's sort of, anything that Bala have done or it's just maybe a lack of tempo, but yeah, I'd agree with that, Mark.
Great pass. That's more like it. A wonderful pass. One-on-one situation. Ollie Holbert up against John Owen. Holbert spins his man. Will he get the shot off Holbert? He does get the shot off. Owen did well to stand him up for so long, I think. He never dived in, which would have given him an easy one-on-one. Most probably did half his job there, John.
No, he done ever so well there, but I think, the quality of the ball from George Ratcliffe into Robbie Wilmot in midfield to then get to get Ollie Holbert 1v1 in that final third. Really good play from Barry, but a different side to what they showed in the first half.
Magnuson, Holbert trying to run in behind Owen this time. Owen will get their first offside flag, goes up. There's an offside. There you are, Gav. That looks offside on the pass from Kavanagh, and it looks well offside. As he releases it. Wow. That is an interesting one. We didn't have that picture in the first half. It doesn't change nothing. Barry are still 2-0 ahead. But VAR may have had a word or two to say about that. Your VAR at present, Gav, what would you say?
I'd say this very close, not necessarily with the centre-back. If you look over the far side with the right-back there, it looks like he might be in line there, but it's definitely very, very close, Mark. And in today's world where everything is managed by millimetres, I am not qualified to make a final call on that.
I tried to get it out of you, and you absolutely locked on the fence there, Gav. Come on.
It's nice and comfy on that fence, man.
I'll just say it looked like it was offside. It looked like it was offside to me. If I was on the VAR, I'd have. There's a yellow card there for Will Richards. maybe a little bit unlucky for a yellow card there. I mean, there's physical contact. I don't think he did a lot, but it's a great free kick. In area for the free kick. Nathan Burke over the kick. Bala load up the box with 5 or 6. The height advantage to Barry is quite considerable. Ross White in there unmarked, 23. Just gone the wrong side of Callum Sainty. Sainty heads away every time. If he was going to really hook it in with pace, Gav, especially when you're against an advantage of a team with height. Oh, good save from Ratcliffe. Good save from Ratcliffe. I think it's Dominic McGivern might have got the shot off. It is McGivern.
Yeah, he's had to be very sharp there because it's a very short backlift and almost like a toe poke, if you like. George has done ever so well there to do the basics well. It's a save he'd expect to make, but a save that he needed to make nonetheless.
And we talk and we talk and we talk football. One goal can make such a massive difference. Burke to take the free kick. Bala trying to edge their way back in this game. Burke. Sainty. He's done that so many times this season. Like you say, at 6'4", if you're unopposed. Britain Ferry to Caernarfon to Adam Davis gets a goal, which takes him to joint top goal scorer in the league. What's your thoughts on the league leaders, Gav, looking from the outside, Caernarfon Town?
Done ever so well. Fisher's done a great job up there. You know, they've been growing for a while, sustained European football over the last couple of years. It's great to see. You know, they're one of the better supported clubs in the league. They certainly make it a tough place to go and get results, and I think Fisher's made good use of that and recruited ever so well. So, but also on the other side of it, you know, from the spectators' perspective and fans of the league, it's great to see that the league is still competitive, and now it's even more competitive at the top end.
Definitely. And maybe, chance, keep it off his line. Big chance. Ratcliffe makes up for it, and the big man Hussein Mahaseb might be a little bit disappointed he haven't made that. Made Ratcliffe play there. It's definitely half a chance. I'm sure we'll get a replay now, Gav. Well, you could have a second look at it. Ratcliffe. Talking of one change, Gav, I think they're playing their front three almost as a front three now, being 2-0 down. They're not dropping right off like they were in the first half. Higgins, it looks like he's staying up a bit. The number 9, Tarasenko, staying up. Yeah, can you see it in front of us now?
Yeah, I can see it as well, and it's almost on the left-hand side. If you look at Louis Hall, for example, he's playing a lot deeper now. It's almost as if they've sort of matched with almost like a back five in that circumstance. And it's just sort of made for an interesting game because now it's a little bit more of an individualised challenge as opposed to a team one from the Bala perspective. Looking back at George's situation there, it's nigh on identical to the situation we praised him for previously. The yin and the yang of football there, man.
1-on-1. Ratcliffe makes the decision to head it and not get hold of it. George, again, impressive physically in the challenge. Richards. I think Jenkins will just be calling for a bit of step up. They've been out for 11 minutes at the moment and haven't really got out of gear in the second half. Penabont go 3-0 up against Flint. Nathan Wood with a goal. Penabont, I think the last couple of weeks they've been itching to show their form of last season, and it looks like they're showing it this afternoon. Penabont 3, Flint 0. Callum Sainty trying to steady things up in midfield. Margerson. Easy to talk about, Gav, but definitely next goal is the key. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Just looking at the Bala setup there, there's still similarities from what they were trying to do in the first half. Centre back now jumping on strikers when they drop in deeper, much easier from that sort of platform that they now find themselves in. But I think they're keeping players higher in the field for a bit longer, which will mean that they're a threat on the counter attack.
Torrance Sainty wins the battle in midfield. Wilmot, will he pull it back? Ian Owen waiting in the middle. Owen there. It's a great break from Wilmot. He's enjoying himself in that 10 roll, it looks like, this afternoon. He broke well clear then. Only one to aim at, by the way, though.
Yeah, he done ever so well, didn't he? I think Callum again finds himself in midfield. You know, his physical presence is huge for this team, and to see Robbie break off the back of that's fantastic work. I think with only one to aim at in that situation, Mark, because the transition is so quick, it's difficult for others to get there.
Yeah. Has to be perfect. He has to be right on his head. Ross White will take the throw in. Plenty of goals this afternoon flying in the Cymru Premier. Colwyn Bay with 3, Penabont with 3, TNS with 3, Barry with 2, Bala with 0, 2-0 at Jenner Park, almost on the hour. Sainty in the holding role, playing out and out holder. I don't think he'll be galloping forward at 2-0, Gavin, what would you say?
No, I don't think so at all. I think that we haven't seen the Barry midfield be as fluid in the second half so far, but Callum definitely seems as if he's playing that anchoring role.
Wilmot. Holbert was holding his ankle, but when the ball was played to him, he looks as fit as a fiddle. Holbert. Great defending from Bell. He's almost played the first goalkeeper there. He's got in position and really blocked it well. Oh, great feet from the big man, Ellis Williams. Williams to the back. Margerson. He's hit the post. He's hit the post. Great effort, but it's the wrong post from Ben Margerson there.
Yeah, he'd be really disappointed there. He's got a real opportunity to put some pressure on goal, if you like. I've took some good play again by Barry, but yeah, not one of his finest moments by his own definition.
Richards, and unusually slammed out of play by Robbie Wilmot. When you're on a good run, Gav, I mean, they've played 6 games, Bala. They are 3rd place in the league. They're up where a lot of people thought they wouldn't be. The chances and the mentality. Oh, he's thrown it out there and he switched off in midfield and gets away with that one, by the way. Their mentality is they're still in the game, obviously. Wilmot. John Owen. Oh, John Owen. Wonderful play coming out of the back. Will he carry on his run? Higgins. People waiting in the middle. 2 or 3 bodies. Higgins. Sainty tracked well. Did his job. And got the second block tackle in. But just looking a little bit more dangerous. Bala on the break especially. Torrance. Headed clear by Keston Davis. Hasn't put a foot wrong so far this afternoon, Davis.
No, he's done ever so well, hasn't he? He's found himself dragged into that wide position a few times, but he's done ever so well so far.
Richards gives the shout. Bell heads it back in. It's a little bit of head tennis at present. It's not the fluent, wonderful.
That's fair, Mark. I think looking at the game so far, it's not a patch on what we've seen in the first half in terms of quality or indeed style. But we've got to give Bala credit there. They have come out the stops. They have changed things. They've got themselves back in the game. And whilst it's 2-0, it's still a dangerous scoreline. What's going to be interesting for us now, Mark, in the second half is as the substitutes come into the game. Bala have got a lot of experience on the bench. people who know this league as well, and Barry have got a lot of legs as well. So it'd be interesting to see how the managers sort of show their cards.
Yeah, I have to agree. I was looking at the Bala bench. They have a very strong bench with the experiences you just spoke about. The likes of Lissana Mendes, Callum Roberts, they're around their 200-plus game people. Exactly. They can definitely add.
Exactly that. It'll be just interesting to see which manager blinks first here in terms of showing their hand.
Williams plays it inside, just taking a bit of the sting out of the game. Barry 2-0 ahead. Ratcliffe may see more of the ball, I think, than he did in the first half. It's an option when you're 2-0 ahead, Gav. Like we said, you haven't got to go forwards every time, especially if you've got that 2-goal lead.
Absolutely, Mark. I've got to give George a bit of credit as well. Look at the distribution earlier that found Robbie Wilmot, which led to the chance for Ollie Holbert, right?
Great ball.
We know he's got that in his locker, but since he made that mistake, George has made a really educated decision. He's played safe since then, so he's rebuilding himself back in the game. And, that's huge credit to Reid in the game as well. Yeah,
George seems like he's been around a lot longer than he has. He's still only 24 years of age.
Do you know what, Mark? When we took him on loan when I was here years ago, he was 18 years of age. I thought he was absolutely exceptional as a young goalkeeper. And, it's great to see that he had a good experience at that time, which led to him coming back at the club. But yeah, he's a fantastic and highly qualified and highly talented keeper.
Still in the game, Gav, whether you're in the Football League, whether you're in the World Cup, whether you're in the Cymru Premier, it is still a massive position. It's a key position. If your goalkeeper got a bit of class, you've got half a chance. If your goalkeeper's having a bad time, you usually have a bad time.
Absolutely, and George got a lot to offer. As you said, he's been around the game for a long time, despite still his best years are still ahead of him. He's starting to do some little work at the academy with us at Cardiff now, just to pass on his knowledge to the next generation of goalkeepers as well.
2 substitutes being made. Nelson Digbo coming on for the already yellow-carded Jacob Tarasenko. Yayan Owen leaves the field. Another great 65 minutes put in by Yayan Owen. And the young loanee coming on, Morgan Wigley, who I watched play on Wednesday night, and he did look very impressive on Wednesday evening. So whatever they've lost in pace from Owen, they haven't lost bringing on the likes of Wigley.
No, I know he worked with his dad Russell. Wiggins is a very powerful, athletic player that this is his first senior loan, so excited to see how he does today.
Wilmot, it's a great ball in, it's a great save by Tollins, big chance to make it 3, he makes it 3! It's a wonderful finish, absolutely wonderful finish from Ollie Holbert, just teed it up and rifled it in the top corner. That could be the one that seals the points. Barry 3, Bala 0, and it could be a 3-point haul on the way to Steve Jenkins' men.
Fantastic finish there. There were plenty of men on the line, and he's chosen that right to the top corner. Done ever so well. Delighted for him, because I think his work rate for the team today, and indeed the opportunity he's had, really deserves this. But can we just say that for the quality of the free kick, what a great ball in by Robbie Wilmot.
Just thought Bala were a little bit deep on the free kick. They're right on the edge of their 6-yard box. Tollins punches it away, comes back out to Holbert, who just tees it up and arrows it in the top corner.
I think you raise a really good point there, Mark. If you look at when the Bala line dropped, it seemed really early for a free kick that's that deep in the half,
Especially with somebody with the quality of a couple of 100 Football League games under his belt. Wilmot, he has the potential to arrow it in, cause the goalkeeper a problem straight away.
Absolutely, and I think that maybe an introduction, whilst just a little bit of a plug from me. Good to see Morgan Wigley getting the thick of the action there. He might be claiming an assist there, Mark. You never know.
Things are going well for you at the moment, Gal. But that could produce an entertaining 25 minutes now. Will Barry go for broke and try and score 4 or 5? Bala will still have to keep plugging away.
It's interesting football, isn't it? If we look at the first half performance, Barry deserved to be out of sight, if the truth be told. Not for a great performance from the Bala keeper, but the second half, you have to say that Bala have probably been a better team here, Mark.
And the goal goes in the other end. It's a crazy game on time. Barry 3, Bala 0, and Jenkins looking a lot happier.
Yeah, most certainly be a lot happier now. I just think the next sort of 10-15 minutes are going to be really important in this game now.
Yeah, especially to Fisher, because with the great start they've had, they don't want to be going and getting a thump in here to really upset that apple cart. You know, they've performed well in the second period. At the moment, it'll be a massive ask to get a point or anything from this, but still very important the last 25 minutes.
Absolutely.
2-on-2. Penabont take a 4-0 lead against Flint Town. And Carnarvon, the league leaders, go 3-2 ahead at Britton Ferry. Britton Ferry 2, Carnarvon 3, Adam Davis. Richard Davis, the man of the moment so far, Carnarvon.
Noah Daly back amongst the goals for Penabont again, Mark, as well.
Yes, Daly's made a great move so far. Connors Key 1, Lewis Rees 1 apiece. Connors Key 1, Cardiff Met 1 with 20 minutes left in the game. I was sat at the Cardiff Met game last week with John Disney, the Connors Key manager, doing his homework, coming down to watch Cardiff Met. You talked about the league improving in standards and professional manners, Gav. That's a 4-hour trip to watch the team he was playing a week later.
Yeah, those are the types of trips that Andy Morrison would have made regularly.
Wigley
He knows that, you know.
Wigley gets a shot off.
John Disney, we support him a little bit through the for the coach education pathway Wales. You could see that he was made for management, that he's grown up under some really good managers that have clearly instilled a great work ethic in him as well.
Torrance. The Barry fans get into full voice. Think they could see 3 points arriving. For Bala, it's a matter of getting some pride now in the last 20 minutes. Wigley has loads of pace. He's one-on-one. He'll drive in. Will Wigley make it 4? Wigley makes it 4. It looked like the side netting gap from where we're sat from, but you're sat there with a massive smile on your face as one of your loanees makes it 4-0 for Barry. Wigley gets the goal. Barry 4, Bala 0.
It's a great moment, you know. Morgan's a great lad, and it's his first senior loan experience, as I mentioned previously. But that game in a nutshell, he's counter-pressed the situation after giving the ball away, being great in transition, and then he's shown his athleticism to run away from the defence and show with a quality finish. Massive credit to him, and hopefully now that kicks him on and he can have a really good loan at Barrytown.
What a finish that is. He has plenty to do. He steals it 40 yards out. He drives past the defender, picks his head up, goalkeeper's there, and rifles it into the top of the net. It's Barry 4, Bala 0, and the sun is shining in Barry Baidos. It's a good goal, Gav.
Done ever so well, mate, just to show the quality at the end of that intense period for him. You know, he's at the counter press and stretch it over sort of 45-50 metres, and yeah, delighted for him.
I did say, Gav, after watching him on Wednesday evening against Llanelli, I've seen how athletic. I spoke to you about his pace. Once he was challenging that ball 40 yards out 1 against 1, you only have to see a player once, don't you, to believe it's in the locker. It's in the locker.
And you can't coach it. He's a very powerful and athletic player. And that pace is of a top standard, you know. And Morgan's very versatile. He can play anywhere across the front three. And, you know, we're talking about versatility there, not to give myself an own segue, but looking at where John Owen now finds himself being centre half at one point, now finds himself as a number 10 looking to join in the front line. Interesting sort of tactics being employed today.
Carnarvon take a 4-2 lead at Britton Ferry. Every game Britton Ferry are involved in, by the way, is an absolute goal fest.
Sounds like a barnstormer down at the old road, man.
Well, can we complain? We got 4 goals here.
I think it's great to see. You know, you've seen an attractive style of play. You've seen some good goals, and hopefully the boys and the people who've been in attendance today go home happy, having enjoyed a really good game of football, you know.
Callum Robertson, Lasse Mendes coming on. 2 experienced players, like we both said. And this is the time for Fish to blood him when they're 4-0 down. He needs that experience to see the last 18 minutes out now. Lewis Hall coming off.
Yeah.
And Hussein Mahaseb.
A lot of experience coming off the bench there, people who know this league inside out, you know, so it'd be interesting to see how they impact upon the game.
Do you think he might go with maybe go with a 4-5-1 now again, when you're 4-0 down, Gav, just to stop the flow?
It still looks like a 5 to me, mate, if I'm being honest with you. He might sort of sit off in midfield, but to me it just looks like a back 5 with 2 deep line midfielders, and John Owen is a 10 that can join in to make it a front 3, so interesting to see how it all pans out. But as I said earlier in the game, the distances between units now for both teams is quite large, so that should make for an attractive game.
Williams gets it forward. Both strikers with a goal to their name, both looking for braces. Wilmot. Hook clear by Bell. Ben Wilson makes it TNS 4, Llanelli 0. We did say the goals are flying in. I'm sure the whoever has brought forward the kickoff time till 12:30 will have a smile on his face. Wilmot. McGivern still battling in midfield. Hasn't stopped battling all afternoon, McGivern. Ellis Williams. A different type of midfielders, Gav, we can point out in that Barry midfield today. But Sainty has really done a job, like in the holding role, and he's locked up, he's won headers. But he really has freed up the 2 footballers in front of him. Would you agree?
I think you make a great point, Mark. I'll be honest and say that, you know, since Callum's made the transition to be a bit more of a centre half over the last 2 or 3 years, he's been colossal for Barry, absolutely colossal. But seeing him back in midfield today, he's done exactly what his team has needed from him. And Ryan Kavanagh has covered every blade of grass, and Robbie Wilmot has offered some real quality and creativity at times. So it seems like a nice blend, Mark.
Yeah, definitely. You said Kavanagh and Wilmot have the ability to play anywhere and have the quality to play anywhere. And Sainty's just saying to him, go and enjoy yourself.
Credit to him, you know, he just done exactly what his team needs of him today. I have to say, I think that's been a key part of the game, because in that central area, Barry really have dominated.
Their shape looks a bit better than it, Gav. Their shape, you know, left footers as well. You know, the lad Williams on the left hand side has added good balance this side. The far side, Mickey George, they are sort of born to be wing backs, that type of player.
Absolutely, and they both added something to the game, you know, in different ways, because Mikey's obviously got himself in a situation for goals and assists. But I have to say that I think Ellis has been very solid in that area today.
Bell. Wigley shows his strength on the ball. Wilmot plays it in behind. Wigley pulls it back, gets his team a corner. Yeah, when you've got young forwards, both at Wigley 21, I think Ollie Hulbert's 22, they're just itching to get another goal, Gal.
Yeah, they're full of legs up top for Barry at the moment, and as the game's becoming more stretched, I can only see that causing Bala more problems.
Wilmot. His quality on the set plays, as you've talked about already, is one of the top set piece takers in the Cymru Premier League. His professional experience just adds his class. George and Ratcliffe. It's not the worst thing to do when you're 4-0 ahead, just clearing your lines.
No, a very sensible decision there, being chased down by Liam Higgins.
Carnarvon are scoring goals for fun. They're 5-2 ahead at Britain Ferry. It just helps, Gav. I mean, you were in this league for a long time, over a decade. When you make them 4-hour trips, you come back with 3 points and a hatful of goals, Gav. How much difference did that used to make the journeys?
I've had a few go the other way as well, Mark, if I'm being honest. You know, so they made that journey.
Oh, you've had the TNS journeys, have you?
I've had, though. We've done all right up there. Struggled against them at home, if I'm being honest. But no, you bang on. And do you know what? Whilst it is a little bit of travel in this league, what I will say is that when you get those results away from home, it don't half add to team spirit, you know, and that togetherness.
Yeah, definitely. The opening goal seems a long time away now. Will Richards' header. He's by yourself here, Wilmot. Absolutely an acres of space.
Just looking at the types of goals we've seen today, Mark, we've seen all different types of goals as well. We've seen goals from set pieces, we've seen some excellent play, defence splitting passes, you know, and credit to Barry to say that, you know, they're carrying multiple threats today.
I think there's Steve Fisher, like, he'll tell you he's had an off day, but Jenkins will tell you definitely, Steve Jenkins, I've spoken to him a few times this season, this will, you know, ease his woes, because he believed this could have happened 3 or 4 times so far. It's actually happening today. I think he'll have a big smile on his face at the end of the 90 minutes.
Absolutely, mate. I think, you know, Steve's experienced enough. He's known this league so many years now. He knows exactly what the game's about, and today they've been found wanting, but he'll sort of get the boys up for next week. And Jenks, to be fair, will be looking to build on it. You're right, they've been playing well, so this maybe isn't such a surprise.
A hat-trick of 4-0s there. Ibrahim will be coming on for Will Bell. Bell looks like he's had a bang. Olamide Ibrahim comes on for Will Bell in the 78th minute. He's had a tough afternoon, Bell, as has the rest of the Bala defenders, against a very prominent Barry attacking force.
I have to say, speaking before the game, you know, Steve, we know him to be a really respectable guy who loves his football, and you know, he was saying to me that, you know, he rates the Barry team because he feels as if he's watched all their football, and he said that maybe their position is a little bit false at the moment, but yeah, he'd be the first to admit today that his side have been second best.
Ratcliffe will still be intent on keeping a clean sheet, as will the rest of the Barry defence. Will it be their... We'll check out... Will it be their first clean sheet of the season?
Oh, they got the clean sheet against TNS, didn't they, in the last...
that was the first time they'd had a point in over 2 decades, Gav, as we spoke about earlier on. I've not mentioned that because you were the manager for most of that time, mind.
Yeah, I suffered here against them, that's for sure. We could have done with a boggy, narrow, tight pitch in those days, but
we've all done it, mate.
We had the expanse of Jenner Park, mate. Just looking at the sidelines there, old habits die hard. You know, you got Jenks with his team 4-0 up, and he's still demanding the ball to be moved quicker. So, you know, the intensity and the desire there to continue to improve is there and all to see.
Mendes has been a good player in the Cymru Premier over the last 3 or 4 seasons. One reason could be injury that he didn't start today, but I'm sure he'll make his way back into the Bala starting 11.
Absolutely. Been a really good player, carried a goal threat as well for many years under Colin. Interesting to see now how this sort of game pans out. It seems as if, you know, Bala are happy just to sort of sit off now. John Owen finds himself in the back line again, so
yeah, definitely.
I think at the moment
they're going to try and keep it at 4-0 now, Gav. Their next opponents, Barry's, are Flint away, Haverfordwest away, and Connors Key Nomads home. So how important could this 3 points be today? Because every one of those games, even lining up on paper, are difficult.
Huge, Mark. You know, we said that at the start of the game. You know, if you're looking to make money off the Welsh Premier, it's a very difficult league to predict, you know, and the intensity of competition week in, week out is there for all to see. But ultimately, you know, anybody can beat anybody on their days. So Jenks will know how valuable these 3 points are today for him.
The head-to-head between the teams, they played 18 in the Cymru Premier. Bala had won 8, Barry 5, and 5 draws. So there's another one on the notch today for Barry. It'll be a good week for Steve Jenkins and his Linnets. 1-0 victory against Llanelli in midweek with the Iron Owen goal. And at present they're cruising their way to a 4-0 victory against Bala Town. Ratcliffe. George flicks it forward. Wigley trying to put pressure on Ross White. Again, Sainty has patrolled the midfield really well. George. When we do have guests, Gav, so I'm going to give you 3 or 4 minutes the red button man of the match is usually picked, obviously, by the Welsh counterpart on the commentary, but the guests usually pick their own, so I'll give you 4 or 5 minutes.
Very kind, Mark. Thank you. I think there's quite a few players who put their hands up here, you know, today. Can't ignore the performance of the keeper from Bala in the first half. You know, I thought that was exceptional.
Tremendous.
You know? Joel Torrance there really put his hand up in that first half performance.
Yeah, do you know what, Gav? He could have made the difference in this being a landslide victory for Barry, by the way.
Yeah, they have been quite dominant today. You know, this isn't the same Bala Town team that we've seen in the first sort of 5-6 games of the season.
Kavanagh comes off. Dan Barton comes on. Most probably play exactly the same role as Kavanagh. Great game there in midfield from Kavanagh.
Yeah, Bash was a Mascola player at Cardiff City for many years. You know, really good lad, good technician. Generally plays a little bit deeper, to be fair to him. Left-footed player, and it's great to see him continue to play his football at a good club and a good level as well.
Yeah, so there's looking at the full squad here this afternoon, Gav, as you have. I know you're always keep in touch, but they got a gifted squad technically, haven't they?
They have, and they got a good balance of ages as well. And what I've been impressed about today, and just sort of following trends in the modern game, particularly in the first half, I was really impressed with their fluidity. You know, you've seen full-backs inside, you've seen centre-backs higher, you've seen strikers dropping off the front.
Yeah.
You know, so, and that makes, you know, a team to be very difficult to sort of prepare for, you know.
Bala will get a corner, still looking for that consolation goal for the afternoon. 84 minutes on the clock. Barry Town 4, Bala Town 0. And there's a few clubs in the Cymru Premier this afternoon itching for the 90-minute whistle to go. A few hidings have been dished out this afternoon. Burke whips it across. Sainty. If there's been 4 or 5 corners come in, I think Sainty's headed away. 4 or 5 corners. So he's done his job in the box today. Mendes. Not a bad effort from Mendes. Ratcliffe positioned himself well.
Raised a good point there, Mark. I think from every set piece that Bala have had, Callum's been colossal in that centre of the area there. You know, it looks like Barry try and free him up to win that ball, but honestly, every time at the moment, he's looked a real presence in there.
Ratcliffe, Keston Davis. The 100-mile-an-hour tempo went out of the game quite a while ago, Gav. The first half, it was a quick tempo game. The second half, with the 2-0 lead, Barry have been able to pick their way and play their way to the 4-0 victory. Another ball goes in, the block.
Absolutely right, but you know, we talked earlier about fluidity, and you see Mikey George there rolling inside to become a second 6 in the build. Look, it's easy to do that when you're 4-0 up, but to his credit, he's been doing that all game, and that makes, you know, difficult tactical challenges for sort of Bala to deal with. And you know, a very fluid performance today, I think, has been the key to Barry's success.
Robbie Wilmot to take the corner. Wilmot, far post, headed in. Oh, it's gone through Callum Sainty's legs, I think. The header back across was from Ben Margerson. Wigley pulls it across, flashes it across, and there's 2 strikers. It's just flashed past them. Referee gives a throw in to Barry. Wilmot. And Margerson appears on the far post.
He's had 2 chances there, Mark. He might fancy himself to do better there.
I think he'd be disappointed with that one, because the cross was exceptional.
Substitution for Barry Town, replacing number 22, Ollie Holbert.
Goal scoring Ollie Holbert leaves the field, gets a round of applause from the Barry faithful, and he claps them all back.
Is number 14, Daniel Smith.
Daniel Smith comes on for Holbert. Jenkins in the position where he could give all his substitutes a game. Wonderful position to be in when you're a manager. It doesn't happen very often, Gav, as we all know.
Absolutely.
It's just almost a perfect afternoon for Barry Town.
No, and he's been able to take him off now and just look after him for the next game. I have to say, really impressed with his work rate and his intensity, and I'm delighted he got his goal today as well. I think his performance deserved that.
And obviously it's a nice afternoon for you, Gav. We can't hide the fact that, look, you were manager of this club for well over a decade, carried the club at times, and you were the main stalwart of this club. And it's nice. It must be a good afternoon for you. It'd be the same with me commentating with Colin Caton alongside me if it happened to Bala in the other vein.
Yeah, very privileged over many years to work with some great people here, and thankfully, my wife and still involved in the club. My daughter comes here and she feels really comfortable. But just great to see, really great to see the club thriving, and hopefully they can keep kicking on now.
Joel Torrance. Three minutes added. It'll be a long 3 minutes for the Lakesiders. Free kick there given against Ross White. Substitutes obviously itching to try and get herself on the goal scorer. Highlights will be available on Monday evening for Scorio, and there'll be plenty of goals to watch. George. Two defenders on the goal sheet is always a positive. Richards and Mickey George. Ross White to take the throw in. Last minute of the 90 at Jenner Park. Barry comfortably 4-0 ahead. Could they be the first team? No, Caernarfon have got 5 goals so far as well. It's 3 minutes added on.
Official has indicated there'll be 3 minutes stoppage time. 3 minutes.
And we still got a full afternoon ahead of us, Gav. It is getting used to this 12:30 start. It really is, I'm expecting to go in there now.
Great day of football, Mark. Loads of football left to be played.
Loads of football left ahead. An important game for yourself, an important game for Cardiff City, important game for Swansea, Wrexham and Newport County. We will not forget them on the afternoon. Good luck to all Welsh clubs this afternoon. Let's hope we can have an afternoon of 4 Welsh victories. Ball in, must be. Big chance for the substitute to open his account. Daniel Smith is a yard away from goal, and look, would have made his afternoon coming off the bench, but what a great ball again from Wilmot.
Yeah, great ball in, but he should be doing better there. He got himself into a great position. He's 5 yards out really with a free header.
Headed back where it came from. Is that the old saying, Gav?
That's the coaching mantra, mate. That's the coaching mantra. He'd be disappointed there because he's come on, and to be fair to him, even though the game is dead, he's come on and looked to make an impact on the game, and that, he deserves credit for that. So a goal would have been really good for him.
Definitely. Ratcliffe. Dean makes the first header in the defence for Bala. Still ploughing away in midfield. Wilmot. John Owen. Arrows one to the top of the stand. Barry still plugging away, still pushing for that 5th goal. Wilmot. Dan Barton gets a throw in. Referee's had a good game, Gav.
He has, he's let it flow. I wouldn't say it's been a hard game to referee, but the decisions he's had to make, I think he's got right.
Absolutely. Wilmot, again, enjoying the freedom he's allowed by Sainty in the holding role. Just hasn't been their day, Bala. I think Steve Fisher, man of the match award, Gav.
Yeah, I think a few people have put their names up today, Mark, or put their hands up, sorry. I think Joel Torrance for Bala in the first half performance has been exceptional. Been really impressed with Mikey George, Ryan Kavanagh covered every blade of grass, as did Oddie Holbert. But I'll keep going back to it. The word of the day for me today has been fluidity, and I think that Callum Saintey's performance in the centre midfield has allowed all those around him to do what they need to do. So for his leadership qualities and what he's done for the team today, back in midfield, I'll go with Callum Saintey.
Yeah, fine decision there, Saintey. He has controlled affairs in midfield. There's the final whistle from the referee. Final score at Jenner Park this afternoon. I've enjoyed the afternoon with Gavin Chesterfield alongside me. Thank you very much, Gavin.
Thanks for having me, Mark. Really enjoyed it.
And the final score is Barry Town 4, Bala Town 0. Look out for the highlights on Scorio Monday evening.
Barry Town's next match in the Cymru Premier is next Saturday, the 20th of September. Saturday, the 20th of September, they will be heading up north to the Essendon Stadium to take on Flint Town United. Kickoff is at 2:30. Then on Tuesday, the 23rd of September, they will be heading west to Bridgemeadow Stadium to face Haverford West County. Kickoff is at 7:45. Barry Town's next match here at Jenner Park will be in 2 weeks' time. On Saturday the 27th of September. Saturday the 27th of September against Cymru Romads. Kickoff is at 2:30. Thank you all for coming down to Jenner Park this afternoon. We really do appreciate your support. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday afternoon. Take care.
Diolch yn fawr iawn. Steve, did you enjoy that?
Yeah, to a point.
You had to think about that.
Oh, no, of course, any win. You've got to enjoy any win, and they're hard to come by in this league, We went sort of 4 or 5 games without that, so it was important that we managed to get the 3 points today. I mean, it was going to be difficult because, Bala had a really good start, so, yeah, please.
What was different today, do you think? What clicked?
I don't think it was clicked. I think I said earlier, our performances have been good. The Penabonk game was tight. TNS year, we could have easily nicked that one. We probably had the best opportunities. Probably just being a bit ruthless. And today we was to score 4 goals. Probably created about 6 or 7 clear-cut chances, but I'm really pleased.
Yeah, and against the team, they had a great start. They'd only conceded 4 before today. That's some results.
No, I know, but it happens. But I just said to Steve there, it's been 3 games in 6 days for everybody. It's tough. And, Bala, obviously away at Newtown and away again down here, so it's not easy. And probably, it took its toll on them more than it did us.
Robbie Wilmot's been named man of the match again. He seems to be a very important player for you.
No, he does. He makes us tick. Look, he's not going to go around smashing people, right? But his quality's there for everybody to see. He makes us tick, he creates, he scores. And he's superb on a set piece, so he's an important player for us.
Brilliant, top result. Thanks for your time. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah, thank
Lovely.
you.
Steve Jenkins gyda ni. Diolch yn fawr iawn iddo fe. Wrth i ni edrych mlaen at beth arall sydd i ddod. Wrexham yn cwrdd â Bari. Fori wrth gwrs. Mwy o bêl-droed byw gyda ni ar sgorio penwythnos yma. A'r gyngrair Genero wedi dechrau hefyd. A ni'n cael mwy o gwmni nawr. Robbie Wilmot in a minute. Hey, Robbie, thanks for your time.
Okay.
That was some result. Fair play. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, no, it was brilliant. We've said it's been coming for a few weeks now, and the performances have been there, just the results haven't followed, and today we put it all together.
Yeah, was there anything different today? What clicked?
I think we just enjoyed it more, to be honest. I think we've had a period where we've probably been on each other's backs a little bit too much, and today we've just, enjoyed it, and everyone played with a smile.
You enjoying your football this season?
Yeah, another year older, but I'm loving life and still got a little bit left.
Commentators have named you man of the match as well, so you obviously caught their eye. To be fair, there was a few in contention today. It felt like a team performance.
No, the boys were outstanding, and they have been all season, even since pre-season. The new ones who have come in have been a joy to work with. The lads who have stayed have been brilliant, and we're trying to create a real good culture going forwards.
Yeah, how long does that take in the summer? Bala have had loads of changes, but looking at Barry as well, few big names gone, Kane McCagan, for instance, players coming in. Does it take time to gel?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, like you said, we lost a few big personalities, but it takes a few of us older ones to gel them in and ease them in and get them the way we're playing. But Jenks has done a fantastic job with what he's brought in, and I think we look a little bit better than what we did last year.
Well, brilliant. Congratulations on today. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Robbie Wilmot gyda ni yn ddyn hapus. Dyma'r canlyniadau i chi. Drewch chi ni edrych ar rhain. Mae rhain yn drawiadol dros ben y Bari Peder fan hyn. A we sôn am Bai Colwyn, nag yw i, nôl yn y gyngred. Tair i ddim yn ebyn Hwlffordd. 2 chreuwr yn cael ei danfon o'r cae ebyn y diwedd. Fan yna o ran Hwlffordd. Maen nhw'n cael amser anodd ar hyn o bryd. Pwynt i Met oedd i cartre yng Ngheu Conna. Bydd hwnna'n cadw nhw bach yn apesach. Ond fi'n credu 5 i Ben y Bont. 6 i'r Seintiau Newydd. Ben y Bont ddim wedi sgorio yn y gemau diwethaf. Ond 5 i ddim yn ebyn Flint. Caernarfon yn ennill yn Llansawel o 5 i 2. A nhw'n colli o 2 gol i ddim. Ac yn ola, rheolwr y Bala, Steve Fisher, Steve, thanks very much for your time. Tough afternoon for you guys today.
Yeah, really tough. I think that's the first game we've played this season where I don't think we deserved anything out of it. We didn't really turn up today. Thought they were the better side. We huffed and puffed in spells, but we didn't really look like we were going to win the game today.
Steve Jenkins has mentioned the schedule recently as well, a tough schedule for all teams, midweek games popping up. Is that a factor?
It is, but I don't want to make no excuses. I was speaking to Steve about the schedule before the game. The amount of games we've played, especially for us with such a small squad, it takes its toll on players. Looks like Will Bella's took a little knock there today, so that'll be another one out. But yeah, listen, no excuses though. With the squad we had available today, we should have done a lot better.
It must be a bit obviously disappointing considering you only conceded 4 all season. To concede 4 in one afternoon. Sorry to remind you.
Oh, your colleague said before the game, you've got the best defensive record in the league, and I thought, that's a kiss of death, and it was. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, don't worry.
But looking back, I know it's a tough result today, but it's such a good start to the season, considering all the changes. No need to panic, I'm sure.
I've said it was a poor performance today, but I've said to the lads before today, don't get too high with the results that we've had, and we won't get too low with the one we've had today. We'll dust ourselves down. We've been dying for the training session for a week or so now with the midweek games in the schedule, so we'll have a good training session Tuesday, ready for the game on Friday.
Brilliant. Thanks very much
Thank
for
you
your
very
time.
much.
Great to talk to you. Thanks, Steve. Brilliant.
You.
Steve Fisher gyda ni. A dyna ni. Wrth i ni weld y tabl I grynhoi'r cyfan ar y penwythnos yma. Mae'r tabl yw Caernarfon yn gallu ennill y gyngrair. Yw I digon cynnar I ni sôn am hynny. Chi beth yn gwybod, 7 gêm di mynd nawr, 17 o bwyntiau. Fi'n gwybod mae'r Seintiau'n dyn ar I sodle nhw. Pen y Bont wedi cael pnawn da hefyd. Ond cofis, chi'n dechrau breuddwydio'n barod, ond yn colli y 2 gol I ddim. Wedi ennill yn Llansawel a Llanelli. I nhw'n dechrau paratoi am ddiwedd y tymor. Mae'n rhy gynnar I sôn am hynny, ond dwi ddim yn mynd I fi. Diolch am eich cwmni. Amser cinio, pnawn da. Mae wedi bod yn pnawn da fan hyn yn y Bari. Nhw wedi ennill. Gwych o ran y tîm cartre. Diolch yn fawr iawn am eich cwmni, eich bwyntiau nos lun. Wel, ni chi cyn fwy hir. Wel, fawr I chi, ta-ra.